It's the Mixed Martial Arts Hour with
Mixed Martial Arts Hour is back in your life. On this Monday, August 14th, 2023. Hello again, everyone. I sure hope you're doing well. If I'm being honest, I'm not doing great in this precise moment. Why? Because one of my idiosyncrasies is that I like to have water bottles at my disposal, but for some reason I don't like to actually drink from said water bottle. So I usually keep it a little bit loose at the top. This is actually a massive pet peeve of my wife because she'll then take the water bottle and it will spill all over her, and I'll just say, like, can't you tell? Well, guess what? Literally 60 seconds ago, I took a little swig here and it was open. And so now the lower part of my region is completely wet right now. Shirt wet, pants wet, pretty much from like here, you can't see that, all the way to almost my knees, soaking wet at the moment. Could you believe that, Frank?
I can, because I heard it.
Chair wet. In a way, it's refreshing because I like to keep the studio very toasty, but in another way, it's not so refreshing. In any event, you know what's refreshing? UFC 292 Fight Week is upon us, my friends. It's a fun one. Back in Boston, 2 title fights. Aljo versus Sean O'Malley, both of them have been doing a fantastic job of selling the fight. And how about this? In a matter of seconds, we're going to be joined from the airport by Aljamain Sterling. Very few fighters, period, let alone champions, would do this. It's incredible that he's doing this for us. He's about to board the plane as we are speaking to Boston in a matter of seconds. Let me tell you, back into the show, we're going to be joined by Eddie Hearn. Prior to that, Machado Garry, who's, of course, fighting on this card against Neil Magny, not Jeff Neal. Terrance McKinney had a big win this past weekend as well. We'll talk to him in the second hour. As always, we're presented by DraftKings Sportsbook, official sports betting partner of the UFC in this show. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app today. Use the code DMA Hour. If you sign up for the first time, you get a nice little gift. And by now you probably have. And of course, there's a lot to like this weekend as well. All right, like I said, we're getting right into it today because this man is headlining UFC 292 at the Garden in Boston, defending his title literally 3 months after he did it here across the river in Newark, beating Henry Cejudo fair and square. They turn him around right away to fight Sean O'Malley. He's about to board the plane, but he's kind enough to join us from the airport. Let's say hello to the Funk Master, Aljamain Sterling. Hey, Aljo, what's up, man? It looks like you're in a studio. How is this possible? How do you look so good over there? What's going on?
I'm in the Centurion Lounge.
Look at you, styling and profiling at the airport. I appreciate you doing this, my man. Thank you so much.
Thank you. No problem.
Okay, well, by the way, what is it like? You know, you're not just going on a business trip. You're not just going on a vacation. You're about to board a plane to get into a fist fight as the champion to defend your title once again. Like, what is going on here as you're about to, you leave your house, you're about to get on the plane, the duties start now. Can you take us inside your mind as you're about to make this short flight to Boston?
For me, it's just one more time into the fire. We got another tough opponent. And just switching the gears to get ready for mental warfare, get ready for physical warfare. So I'm ready to go, man. This is what my man asked for. He's gonna get every last bit of it.
Nerves, anxiety, do those things come into the equation?
I mean, I think a little bit to a certain extent. I mean, nerves about like the unknown. It's always the unknown. No matter how much you prepare, whatever you can say, tell yourself, it's always the unknown. So, you're doing something that's going to physically hurt, even if you're winning. So it just comes with the territory. Competition is competition. So this is what I like to do. I like the bright lights, and I can't wait to go out there and compete.
So the last time we spoke to you was like a week after the Cejudo fight when you were in studio. And I remember because it was crazy, the timing. You told us you got to get your body checked out. You'll see next week. Preferably you fight in September. So the exact next day, like 24 hours later, they come out with this announcement that you're fighting in Boston. How did you feel when all this came out?
Yeah, I mean, there was a mix of emotions. There was definitely some. It wasn't the greatest feeling, but once I got to speak to everybody and we kind of all got on the same page, I think it made more sense. And the main thing I said, from the very beginning was, if my body feels good, I'm going to make the walk. I always do. And that's what it comes down to. It's not like you're just taking a vacation. You literally just got out of a fight like a couple of days ago. You got to make sure your body is up to par. Last thing we want is another TJ incident, you know? So I don't want people saying, oh, you came in with a pre-existing injury and none of this stuff. I want to make sure I can give the best version of Aljamain Sterling. So there's no easier path to victory for Sean.
Were you able to take some time off?
Yeah, I took a little bit of time off. I was working on my brand, Funk Harbor. That's actually should be. I think we got the clearance to start taking some pre-sales. So I'm excited about that. Got some downtime to work on that. Got some downtime to work with Nerd Focus and heal up. That's the most important thing. So got the shins. Everything's ready to go. Now I can smash them on another person's body and face and arms all over again. So that's like where the nerves come in. That's like the exciting part of knowing what that's going to feel like and not knowing what it might feel like, depending on if it's a proper check and things like that. So I'm ready to go out there and just have some fun, let it fly. And this is not a guy who's going to be looking to take me down. So I think you might have yourselves a good striking match as well. So it all depends. I wouldn't be surprised if Sean's the one coming out there looking to wrestle.
And we're going to get into that in a moment. By the way, you sent the studio some Nerd Focus. Thank you very much for that. Congrats on the rum coming out. We saw the photos. We posted some of them here as you're speaking as well. So congrats on that coming out as well, because I know you've been talking about this and wanting this to happen for a while. Yeah, here it is, the Funk Harbor. Shout out the Jamaican rum. Congratulations on that. Could I ask, when they made the announcement, did you know the announcement was coming, or were you blindsided by it?
Well, it depends when. I guess there was like the actual release, and then there was the initial thing that Dana said. And I spoke to the guys behind the scenes and told them, like, dude, I have nothing wrong with him announcing the fight. I just would like the courtesy of some type of respect of at least having a conversation first. And I think that's relatively reasonable for anyone to ask. It's like I saddle up. I fight every single time I'm asked to fight. I compete against the best guys. I beat the best guys. And I think, what else could you want for in a champion? You know what I mean? I'm not going out there and, I don't know. I'm doing my job. That's the best way to put it. I'm doing my job, and I'm doing it at the highest of the highest levels.
One last question on this, because I know you want to move on from all of it, but I'm just curious, was the question ever asked, like, why do I have to turn around so quickly? There are other champions who haven't fought for months. Why do I have to fight in August when I just went through 25 minutes with one of the best fighters of all time, Henry Cejudo? Why are you making me do this?
We spoke about that as well. I definitely asked that question. And when they mapped it all out, this made the perfect sense for me in my career and just the opportunity. You know, my second main event, I'm fighting a big name. He's got a bunch of Fortnite followers. And, you know, I can't even not laugh at saying that. It's, you know, this guy is beating the most top 5 guys in the world. He's the most credentialed opponent that I have to date. So I think going out there and making the quick turnaround against a guy like that, I mean, it does monumental things for my career. So I look forward to the test, and what bigger name can there be than Sugar Booger O'Malley?
Where would you put him up? Like, in terms of the guys you fought as of late, you fought a who's who at 135, obviously as champion, but even as you were coming up, you know, to get to the belt, where would you put Sean O'Malley in terms of what he brings to the table, in terms of the test that he presents to you? Do you put him at the top of that list or not quite?
I think he's the best guy, man. I mean, honestly, look at his resume. Look at all the guys he's beaten. Like, all these guys are still in the UFC. They're all on winning streaks. They're all doing phenomenal right now. So for him, I think this is the toughest test that I can have to date. So I'm leaving no stones unturned for this one, because Sean is
Stop. What? He's better than I wasn't sure if you were fucking with me or not. Henry, Petr Yan, twice Corey Sandhagen, all these dudes. You think he's better, or are you messing with me?
No, dude, he's beat. Look how many top 5 guys he's beaten already. He beat Cheeto. He finished Cheeto. He finished Pedro, and he finished Yan. I mean,
stop. What do you do?
That's hey, I'm just repeating what the man said. I'm just repeating what the man said. So this is the toughest test to date. No, but all jokes aside, it's a tough test. The guy's got some serious skills. He's got a puncher's chance, and we're gonna make sure that when they say 9 out of 10 times I beat this person, so we're gonna try to make sure that's 10 out of 10 on this weekend.
But what about that 1 out of 10? If it truly is 1 out of 10, because I do feel like I hear a lot of people say like, "Oh, okay, this will be one of Aljo's easier defenses," and I'm sure people are saying that, and you're hearing that, and it goes in your mind. But he's a really good fighter and a great striker and a very dangerous guy who can knock people out. How do you not let that make you too overconfident? Because we've seen crazy things. I mean, one of your coaches, right, Matt Serra, he was on the other side of that. He shocked the world against GSP. How do you not let that seep into your thinking and be like, oh, I don't need to go 10 out of 10 on this one. I could put my foot on the brake sometimes. Like you're not thinking that way going into a Henry Cejudo fight. You think that way against Sean O'Malley, things could go wrong.
100%. This is why I don't do that. My learning lesson is Marlon Moraes, never to overlook an opponent, and that's a constant reminder for myself. Sometimes I look at that just to remind myself, like, hey, make sure we're dialed in, make sure we're focused. And I know that they're banking on that same version can come out there and make that mistake and literally dive face first into a shot. So I do my homework. This is definitely a test that a lot of people have been saying I should walk through. But trust me, I know Sean's a good fighter. He's long, he's rangy, he's got good reflexes. I think he's probably the most dangerous in the sense of his skill set. But even though he hasn't accomplished much, his skill set is it's a dangerous skill set. So I'll say that. I understand the dangers with this, but I do know one thing, and I think we could all agree, I take him down, that's a bad night, and that's a long night for Sean O'Malley. So he can say whatever he wants. He can tell himself as much as he wants about his grappling and how good it is, choking out Takanori Gomi. I'm like, okay, big whoop. I beat your grappling coach, ADCC world champion, twice. So I think we kind of know whose strengths are where, and I'm going to make no mistake about that when I go out there in the night and make sure I put it on him.
Is this bet legit between you two? So whomever shoots first, what is the bet?
I think I said whoever shoots first pays $100. So I do think when I pressure him, he might panic shoot. He might be the one panic shooting because he might be worried that I'm going to take him down, or this could be a little trickery. You never know, Ariel. You never know.
Because I mean, more than likely, you're the one that's going to shoot first, and that means you're going to have to pay him $100. No.
Well, if I body lock him, is that really a shot? Is that really a shot?
I don't know who's making these calls. How do you honestly, do you think he doesn't try to take you down? Why would he try to take you down? That's insane.
Maybe he has something to prove, man. Maybe he wants to prove something to the world that he's better than whatever he thinks in his head and what the world thinks of him. Like, he's a gamer, man. I still don't understand the facade with him and people's gravitation to him. It's like, it doesn't make any sense. Like, I look at his social media, I look at the stuff he says in his podcast. He's always on his phone. I'm like, I don't even understand how people want that guy to be the champ, But that's just my personal assessment of him. Maybe they just like that he plays Fortnite. Maybe I need to play Fortnite, and that makes me more popular with the younger kids. Other than that, I really don't get it. And that's not any being facetious or anything like that. He has no wit. There's nothing like Connor-like about him, other than he has tattoos and he tatted his face like 6'9", and he dyed his hair like 6'9". Other than that, what else is this? You know what I mean? And that's not even trying to be a hater. I'm just calling it how I see it. People tend to say he's popular, and I don't get it. I really don't get it. I'm sure you see something I don't. If you can.
No, I mean,
share something.
He has a fun style. He has a fun look. He connects to the younger audience. All these things matter in this day and age. And I think that with a lot of the fighters,
his style is good.
His style is very, dare I say, funky. It's different, right? It's unorthodox. Yeah. And so many UFC fighters kind of look and act and fight the same these days with the uniform and all that, it's hard to stick out. It's hard to be different. Like that's an issue. We all were paying attention to you because you had the chain, you had the hair, you were dancing, your style was different. I think that's what helped you gain some fans early on. So just being different is important. But you mentioned something earlier there, and I'm curious to get your thoughts. Who do you think the UFC brass wants to win this fight?
Listen, I think it's a win-win for them, honestly, because this is one of those opportunities where the way I assess this is Conor and Khabib. Khabib doesn't explode the way that he did without Conor. You know what I mean? Maybe in the Caucasus region, he's very popular. Okay, cool. But in the States, he doesn't become nowhere near as popular without a proper dance partner like Conor McGregor. Now, for me, I think this is a win-win for the UFC where I had that dance partner and the knockoff Conor McGregor was not as good. And there's an opportunity for me to catapult myself off of everything that he kind of has, man. I'm not here to take everything, Ariel. I'm taking everything this man has. Every last 15, 14-year-old Fortnite video game Twitch streamer that he has, I'm taking everything. So this is my moment. And obviously, if he wins, it's a way for him to validate everything he's done so far for his career, because everyone is always shitting on he's never fought anybody ranked. He's never beat anybody. He beat one guy by split decision. And that fight, honestly, really could have gone either way. It just depends on what you're looking at. And with that being said, this is his chance to have a coming out party. This changes everything for him. Me winning over him changes everything for me as well. So I think it's a win-win for the UFC. And that's why I appreciate the opportunity, and I look forward to going out there and doing it with style points, man. I'm not going out there to hug his back. I'm going out there to put punishment and pain on this guy and get this job done in a very, very, very big way.
Do you think
after that, I might give him a bottle of some Funk Harbor. We'll see. Do
you think your activity will be a factor in your favor? He hasn't fought since October of last year. And, like I think of Garcia and Tank Davis. Tank took that fight in January, and I think him being more active going into that fight and Garcia being out for a while helped him to a degree. I tend to feel like the more active fighters, unless you're banged up, are just kind of looking better out there as opposed to someone who's been out for almost a year at this point. Do you think about that sort of thing?
I do, but Sean's got a smart camp. He's got a good team, man. They got some good things going over there in Arizona. So I don't want to knock the things that they're doing. I think they're going to come well prepared. Dominic Cruz also said it. Ring rust is kind of a thing in your head. You kind of, like if you're going to be in an alleyway somewhere, you're going to fight, right? So it's like the same thing. You're going to fight. You know what's happening. You prepare the right way. You mentally get yourself ready to go. And I'm sure they've done enough sparring rounds and visualizations and things like that. And the one thing I visualize is just me whipping that ass and getting my hair ready. So we'll see what happens. I think it's more beneficial for me. And I can't wait to go out there and just stop a buckle.
Is there a strong chance this is your last fight at 135?
This is more likely my last fight at 135.
Really?
There's a 99% chance this is my last fight at 135.
Well, and I'm assuming even if you win, right?
Well, that's if I win for sure. If I win this for sure, Ariel, I'm out of here.
Why?
Come on.
Why?
It's Marab's time, man. It's Marab's time, and then at the second part of that is, I'm a little bit over cutting weight, this much weight. I walk around 65, 70. I think I could bulk. I don't say bulk up, but I think I could hold that frame relatively better. And I think my conditioning and everything could actually go up a little bit more, back to when I was younger, where I was cutting less. I was still a big guy, but I was cutting less, and I could do it in a week and cut 20, 25 pounds. Well, more like 20, 25, in between there. And I would just compete like just an animal, energize a bunny for days. And now I kind of feel like I'm slowing down a little bit, and that comes with age, So 34 now. I think I just want to get ahead of it before it gets ahead of me.
Wow. So all goes well on Saturday. You win. You worked so hard to be champion, to get everything that comes with being champion, the points, all that stuff. You're going to move up to 45 and give away that title.
No, we ain't giving away the title.
Okay.
We're going for champ. We're going for champ.
But eventually they're going to have to give the belt to someone else, right?
yeah, we'll see what's happening with the weight class, and then kind of everything matters with this weekend. You got Cheeto fighting, you got Prugo fighting, obviously Sean, myself. Umar is out right now. Marab is recovering, pretty much ready to go soon. Henry's out as well. Sandhagen's out as well. Like all these guys, they're falling apart.
And
You
you've
know,
also
other
fought
than
most of
Marab.
them and beaten most of them, so there isn't ton of
Exactly,
incentive for you, right?
exactly. And the only other person is Marab, who's a maniac that trains with one hand
Right.
after coming, but after just getting surgery, this guy's still training with one hand, sparring and grappling. It's crazy. But he's gonna be the guy who's gonna be leading that path. So we'll see what happens with everything and see how the weekend shakes out. Then we go from there. You know, I don't count the chickens in the birds in the bush. You know, I like to count the birds in the so that's my mentality going forward.
Okay, but 99% is a big number. I mean, that. Wow.
But that's how sure I'm gonna stomp a muffle in this man's ass.
Wow. And like on the, I know you said 165 you walk around, but like on this Monday, how much you weigh right now? Could you tell us?
I woke up 52, worked out this morning before coming here, and I was 49.
Wow.
So in a really good spot. Tuesday, I normally wake up like 47, 48. So I'm right on. What does Matt Povel always say? We're right on schedule, baby. Trust the process.
Okay. So, and I'll let you go in a second. What is your feel like? You're going for style points. You feel a finish here. Do you feel an early finish? What are you envisioning? What are you sensing as Saturday draws closer?
You know, winning is cool, but I want to make it fun. I do want to make it fun for the fans, and I really hope to get a finish. I'm looking forward to going to finish. Fighting for 25 minutes is a long time. I think Sean and I could both agree that we both would like to get done sooner rather than later and figure it out and see who's really the dominant guy in there. With that being said, you know, I would like to do it with style points. I would like to make it a fun fight, entertain the fans. And I think even with the wrestling, you can entertain as long as you're doing it in a way where you're not just holding a position the entire time for like 30 seconds, a minute, just stalemate, and then the other guy not knowing how to actually get back up to his feet. So I think there's going to be a lot of drama in this one, and it's going to make for some back and forth, and I think people are going to be in for a good show.
By the way, last thing, we looked at pictures of you before you came on, and I was talking to the guys in the back. I was saying that you have like 1% body fat because those pictures of you recently are absolutely insane. Do you actually know what percent body fat you have at the moment?
No, I mean, I would imagine it's easily below 5. Has to be.
That's crazy.
I would even argue maybe 4.
Yeah.
But I mean, when it gets to like 3 is where it's considered like dangerous.
Yeah.
So, I'm gonna say 4 just to be on the safe side.
Okay, the pictures of you, we're showing them now, are insane. I feel like there's a point in the future you and Sean are actually going to be friends one day. I don't know. There's something about your dynamic. You're DMing each other. I feel like there's a friendship down the line between you guys after Saturday.
After Saturday, you know, he's trying to take something from me that I worked extremely hard for, and he had shortcuts to get here, and I think that's the difference. You know, if it was someone a little bit more credentialed, then it's like whatever. But I think we have the teacher's pet that just kind of gets everything that they want, brown nosing, getting everything that they want, and you know that could kind of rub you the wrong way. But other than that, I think we have similar morals and values and just stuff that we put into the sport. I think he gives it his all. I definitely give it my all, but we had 2 different paths, and mine had a lot more resistance than his. And I just want to show to the world that, man, sometimes shortcuts don't always pay off, and the blue collar work ethic is what gets you to the top. And I want to show that cream rises to the top.
Can't wait for it. Thank you so much for doing this, Aljamain. Really appreciate it. Good luck this week. Good luck this weekend. All the best to you, and have a nice flight. I can't believe you're in an airport right now. The connection is fantastic. So much love, my man. Thank you.
I'll see you guys later. Hey.
There he is, the Funk Master, joining us from the airport en route to Boston, Massachusetts, site of UFC 292. A lot of interesting things there that I want to talk about in a second with the guys. I'm really excited about this fight. This is a really fun fight, and the dynamic between them is going to make for a very fun week. And the way he lays it out, look, I had to take the long route to get here. He's the teacher's pet. He's Dana White privilege, all that stuff. that makes for a fun dynamic as well. This guy, Aljamain Sterling, has been in the UFC since 2014. We are approaching 10 years, February of 2014, since he's been in the UFC, and has fought a who's who, has fought an absolute who's who. And the run as of late, since the Marlon Moraes loss, Brett Johns, Cody Stamann, Jimmy Rivera, Pedro Munoz, Corey Sandhagen sub, Peter Yan DQ, Peter Yan win, TJ Dillashaw, Henry Cejudo, is a tremendous run. And so I can't wait to see how this all plays out. By the way, if you are looking to get last-minute tickets to UFC 292, the place to be is Game Time. This episode is supported by Game Time. If you've ever tried to lock down tickets for a fight last minute, perhaps like this particular one, which I'm told is close to or just about sold out, you know it's not easy. Trust me, I've been there, you've been there, we've all been there, looking feverishly on all the sites, looking to try to get the best deal, the best seat, etc., etc. And I'm certain that there are going to be people in the New England area looking to get a last-minute ticket to UFC 292. Game Time and their app is the place for you. With Game Time, it doesn't have to be such a pain. You're guaranteed to get the best price on last-minute tickets. That means that even if you find tickets in the same section and row for less, Game Time hooks you up with a credit equal to 110% of the difference. You'll get top-tier deals on upcoming games, concerts, shows, and more. And after looking through the app myself, it's very easy to use. The pictures, the breakdown, everything like that, and their specialty are the last-minute ticks. So snag tickets without the stress with Game Time. Download the Game Time app right now. Create an account. Use code Ariel for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code Ariel for $20 off. If you're in the area for UFC 292, download Game Time today. Last-minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed. Also, if you're in the New York area, you want to go to PFL on Friday, Game Time is a good place for you to check them out. Of course, PFL is back with another leg of their playoffs this Friday, so a busy weekend in MMA. Win or go home for the best fighters on the planet as the PFL playoffs roll on. They started with 60 fighters, now 24. Renan La Problema Ferreira looks to make quick work of Maurice the Crochet Boss Green. Also, Larissa Pacheco looking to extend her winning streak. Also, you got Dennis Goltsov on the hunt for a ticket to the PFL World Championship in his matchup against Jordan Heiderman. Don't miss the action live Friday, August 18th at 9 p.m. Eastern on ESPN and ESPN Plus. That's the day before UFC 292 with the opening fights starting at 6:30 p.m. Eastern on ESPN Plus. So again, that's Friday, PFL on ESPN and ESPN Plus. If you're in the area, check out the Game Time app. And then Saturday, UFC 292, also on ESPN Plus pay-per-view. Still to come, Terrance McKinney, Ian Machado Garry, who of course goes up against Neil Magny, short notice fight. I mean, I think last week they announced it. It was last week. I don't even remember when that whole thing went down with Jeff Neal, but I think it was around last week. Am I crazy?
Yeah, it was last week.
Yeah, it was last week. And then Eddie Hearn, chairman of Matchroom Boxing, going to stop by to talk about the big win by one Anthony Joshua on Saturday over Robert Helenius. Also get his thoughts on the Nate Diaz fight, because remember, he was very certain that Diaz would get, outclassed by Jake Paul, Francis Ngannou, Deontay Wilder, and more. Guys, do you believe 99% this is Aljamain Sterling's last fight at 135?
Yeah, I do. I believe that.
Wow.
And he said it.
Well, he said it, yeah. I mean, I know he's
100% if he wins.
Yeah.
The part that's tripping me up is the wanting to hold on to the belt.
They're not going to let him, right?
Go up. Not only that, but like he's saying it's Merab's time, right? If it's Merab's time, then you are giving up the belt, right? You can't just hold the belt until Volkanovski finishes his business and then try to fight and be double champ. So I think, but I mean, who's really left? Like a rematch with Sandhagen? Like what's left for
the other thing is Sandhagen is going to be out for a while.
Yeah, I would not be surprised. It would make a lot of sense for him to move up, but not the part that changes the equation is not wanting to relinquish the belt.
Here's here's the list of guys under him. Merab, he's not fighting him.
Yep.
O'Malley is 2. By the way, I wonder what O'Malley was at when this fight was first announced. Like, what was I don't even know. If
I think he was probably around there because of the strength of the Jan win.
okay, but
No,
what do
O'Malley
you,
was 1 after the Jan win, and then the Marab pummeling of
so
Jan
so
knocked
so
him down
he's.
to 2,
I was actually wondering about that because he beat Jan in October of last year.
and he became number 1.
He went all the way to 1 after that. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, solid win. I just didn't know it was that big of a jump because I think he was like 10 or something when he fought Jan, wasn't he?
Yeah,
Something crazy?
he took a big jump.
I want to say Jan was 1 when
Got
that
it.
fight.
But it
took
doesn't
place.
always work out that you take the guy's spot.
Yeah, right, of course. But I mean, it's Sean O'Malley.
Right. Cejudo's 3, beat him. Sanhagen 4, beat him. Jan fought him twice, beat him. Marlon, if he wins, could be an option. But he's
Is
coming
that-
off.
Yeah, I feel like it's unfortunate that it's Munoz on short notice rather
Sure.
than Cejudo. Like, I
But
feel
I'm
like
just
he
saying,
can,
like, then there's
that-
Rob Font. He just lost. Song Yadong, Dominic Cruz. Like,
Cheeto also feels like a big fight for Sean O'Malley, but not for Aljo. Like that doesn't feel like
Yeah.
a must see.
honestly,
fight.
if Aljo wins, love the idea of him moving up to 145, and then they rematch O'Malley and Cheeto if Cheeto wins.
I would love
Doesn't
that.
necessarily have to be for the belt or anything, but like
So,
a
yeah.
rematch of them would be great.
I would love that fight.
That's
That's
the weight cut thing. He talked about the weight cut thing. I think that has a lot to do with it. So yeah, I think this is going to be his last
Here's the
fight.
question, though.
145.
We all know that in order to do this move as champion going up to fight, like he doesn't want to go up to 145 to fight
That's what I was just gonna say.
Ilya Topuria. He
Would
wants
he
to
fight
fight
somebody else? Would he fight somebody?
No,
else?
he wants to. He's a champ. He wants to fight the champion.
But that might not be an option, right? Let's say it.
Okay,
works out
why is
to-
it not going to be an option?
Let's say it works out to the point where now Alexander Volkanovski is chasing his own champ status, right?
Right.
He's chasing his own fight against Islam Makhachev. Islam's not fighting till October. Then we have to wait for the resolution of that. Then Alexander Volkanovski potentially gets a shot. Maybe he fights Ilya, and maybe it's delayed even further. If you're Aljamain Sterling, are you just sitting on the sidelines? And now is the UFC saying, yes, you can sit on the sidelines with this belt? Or are they saying we're going to take away the belt? Like, there might be a world where he has to fight either another 35er or fight a 45er who's not Alexander Volkanovski just based on the timing.
I
There-
mean, with this quick turnaround, there's a world where he wants a little bit of time off.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
He deserves it. He shouldn't
So
fight for the
maybe-
rest of the year.
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm maybe not even until like March or April of next year. Who
Oh yeah, I just mean like, could you imagine if they're like, yeah, okay, and now we need a main event for December. What's your availability?
If it's against
I mean-
Volk for champ,
Yeah,
there's a
exactly.
world where he takes that.
Exactly.
There's a part of me that hates this talk before a title fight, especially on the Monday before, because it's a little bit disrespectful to the guy that he's fighting. But it does kind of add to the fight. It adds to the stakes, right? It makes it. If we know if he is being truthful,
I don't think it's disrespectful because he's saying he's going to move no matter
Yeah.
what. Like he's not saying I'm going to
UFC
smoke Sean
hates-
O'Malley and then I'm going up. He's saying, look, this is it. The weight cut's hard. It's Merab's time. I'm leaving. I think it's fine. It's not disrespectful. In my
UFC hates when people vacate their titles. And I just don't think, given their relationship, if we're being honest, I just don't think that they're going to be okay with him doing what Volk just did in February. The champ opportunity happens to ones that they, for whatever reason, have a good relationship with. Volk, Amanda Nunes, Conor McGregor, Daniel Cormier, right? They're not giving it to the ones that, for whatever reason, they're not on the same page with.
I've been thinking about this a lot. I think that Aljamain Sterling is in the position that Volkanovski was in when he got the fight against Islam Makhachev. I think he's exactly in that same position from the perspective that Volkanovski was not really like a bankable star for the UFC, right? He was somebody who was in fights that were not like huge pay-per-view draws and wasn't viewed as like one of the top champions in the promotion. The Islam Makhachev fight, in my opinion, was, and I should say, not from a skills or pound for pound perspective. I'm talking in terms of like star power. A lot of the reason that these kind of opportunities are made. But he cleared out his division, and just like Aljamain Sterling has, he cleared out his division and got the opportunity. And I think that was the star-making performance. And I think Aljamain Sterling is right on the cusp of that himself. Like, I don't think if he goes out there and smokes Sean O'Malley, there will be a litany of excuses from a litany of people who will say, Yeah, style matchup. Like Sean O'Malley can't stop a nosebleed. He took him down. He pounded him out. We all knew that was going to happen. Everybody knew that was going to happen, and nobody cares. So I don't think he will get credit for this win if he's able to do it impressively. But I do think if he gets the opportunity to fight somebody as good as Alexander Volkanovski, and if he does even half as good a job as Alexander Volkanovski did against Islam Makhachev, it will turn the table in a big way, the same way I believe it did for Volk. I think that was the performance that got people to be more excited about Volk's fights. And I think it could happen the same way for Aljamain. So it might be a gamble that the UFC is willing to take on the basis that they might come out of the other side with a bigger star, in my opinion.
It's a fair point that you make. There's only one thing that I feel like you're overlooking.
Tell me.
They don't have the same relationship with Aljo that they do with Volk.
It's fair. It's completely fair.
Oh, man, you talk about qualifications. If he goes out there and he like does finish Sean O'Malley, the resume that he has at 135, he also has the size to fight at 145. Like, it makes all the sense.
I would love to see Aljo versus Volkanovski at 145. I would love to see. That's a great fight. That's an amazing fight.
By the way, I was looking this up. Like, I don't know if people know, like, the two longest current active UFC champion streaks of title defenses are Alexander Volkanovski, Aljamain Sterling. That's it. 5 and 3. No, 5 for Volk, 3 for Aljamain Sterling. Like, I'll beat the drum. I'm not ashamed to beat the drum. Like, Aljamain Sterling is the most underappreciated fighter on the roster, in my opinion. The resume that he has, GC just mentioned it. You add Sean O'Malley to that. He deserves more than he's gotten, especially the way this fight was announced.
Oh, my God.
This was not befitting of somebody with his caliber of resume. And there will be excuses, right? The acting performance against Jan, TJ was injured. There will always be excuses. And even as I said, I don't believe that this Sean O'Malley fight will solidify anything because people will find a way to discredit this. But if he can't go up to 45 and find success, and especially against a guy who everybody knows is as good as Alexander Volkanovski, it will be a turning point, in my opinion.
Do you know what's the crazy thing about the shots that people take towards Aljamain Sterling, the Piriani, the TJ, like, none of it is his fault.
No.
You know, it's not like he's a dirty fighter. It's not like he's eye-poking people. It's not like he's playing dirty. He's holding on to the fence. Like, he's just playing with the cards that he's dealt. He didn't ask to be blasted in the knee legally. He didn't ask TJ Dillashaw to turn up, with a bum shoulder. He's just going out there and doing what he needs to do. And yes, it does drive me crazy. I
would make the argument he's doing more than he needs to do, right? As you pointed out in the interview, and as you pointed out at the time that Dana White was slandering him about how he's not the guy, and Cejudo's going to step in and take the opportunity. Now he's the one fighting, turning around right away and taking this opportunity to give Sean O'Malley, who the promotion is obviously favorable toward, this opportunity and defend his title. Like, he's gone above and beyond, in my opinion. It's not just that he's just like sitting there racking up wins once every 6 months, fighting twice a year. The dude is doing everything that needs to be done to build a legacy, and the resume speaks for itself. And I don't think he gets a fair shake, personally.
Yeah, I didn't ask him about this. There was a part of me that didn't want to harp on all of this because the guy's about to go on the plane. I don't want to put him in that negative headspace, but it was crazy. He was in studio on the Monday. Yeah. I remember the next day, I was in the airport going to Dublin for the Katie Taylor fight. That's when they made the announcement on the day of the Francis Ngannou announcement, right? That's when they like just flooded the timelines with all these announcements. And then I remember like a week or so later, maybe even less. No, I think it was less, where he said, like, where Dana White said, guess who called me? Guess who's ready to go if Aljo can't go? Henry Cejudo. And then Cejudo gets injured, right? Like a month or so later. And then it's like, oh, the guy that you were using as the threat in case you don't show up, he's not even showing up on August 19th. And here you are, banged up, just fought 25 minutes against that same guy, and he still can't get any love. There's going to be, if it happens, I'll be super glad to be wrong. But I can't wait for the media tour this week, because he'll do a series of interviews. I want to see, does Dana say what you just said in your career? Because it could be very easy for him to say that. This guy fights anyone. This guy is the most underrated champion. This guy has the second longest active streak as far as champion defenses are concerned in the UFC right now. Blah, 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 blah. Instead, it's going to be like, some guys just don't get it. And some guys, they believe it's going to be nonsense like that. It's going to be no promotion. It's not going to be propping him up. It's unfortunate. It's unfortunate because he is very marketable. He is very easy to promote, and he does show up. It's annoying.
When are we gonna get some Funk Harbor?
Nah.
Are you a big rum guy?
No, but if I'm drinking Funk Harbor, I am.
I don't even know what rum tastes like. I know rum raisin.
Never had rum in your life?
Rum raisin?
Yeah, I mean, rum raisin is raisins soaked in rum, I think.
Rum raisin. No. The ice cream flavor.
Yeah. I know.
Top 3 worst flavors of all time.
Wow.
So I think
Wow. So you don't want the Funk Harbor?
I think we've gotten a
guess.
clue as to whether you like rum or not.
Nah, I mean, who wants rum in their ice cream?
Get a little buzz, man, with your sweets, with your
No.
dessert.
I don't want any buzz in my sweets.
Funk Harbor rum raisin ice cream. You're not eating it. Cold
That
Stone comes out with a special flavor. Little
Imagine.
Funk Master Cold Stone collab, and you're not eating it.
Do you have to be 21 to get rum raisin?
No, it's not actually alcoholic, that flavor.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
It's not real alcohol?
No.
It's fake alcohol.
What does that even mean?
true?
I feel.
Little rum
Wait, are you? So next you're gonna say there's no vodka in penne vodka?
What is
news
that?
to
I don't
me.
know what that is.
Penne alla vodka.
Vodka?
Oh, penne
Vodka
alla vodka.
sauce?
Yeah,
Come
yeah,
on.
yeah. No,
There's actual vodka in that.
Yes,
Yeah, but they cook it.
but it's cooked, and the potency of these things
It does have actual rum in it.
is not alcohol level. Like it's not drinking liquor.
GC
level.
says there's alcohol in it.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Yes, but there's like alcohol is in lots of different things. But if it's cooked, it is not potent. You're not getting drunk off rum raisin ice cream.
I'm down for some rum raisin ice
Hold my
cream. There's a
beer.
great
So there
Jamaican
is no
spot
age.
right next to my
There is no
house.
age requirement.
Fair
maybe,
enough.
maybe a little Jamaican food and some Funk Harbor rum raisin ice cream for dinner on Monday if Aljo wins.
Maybe have it at the watch
Yeah.
party.
Now we're talking.
What's?
I gotta have baked beans, clam chowder, Dunkin'.
Oh, you're going. Okay, you're going.
Is that the meal? We're all gonna do that? Baked beans, clam chowder, and an extra large iced coffee from Dunkin'. Is everybody down?
Joe is making a screwed up face.
Why?
Why?
Like it's not a good idea.
Why?
That doesn't sound good on the tummy.
I mean, he's from Boston. I'm gonna follow his
Yep.
lead.
We need Joe to weigh in here.
What's the best storyline attached to UFC 292? Is this the Aljo stuff? Is it Zhang Wei Li's? You know, Zhang Wei Li 2.0, by the way. Zhang Wei Li, since winning the belt, is like an absolute phenom. She
Yeah.
is just, she's like a Tasmanian devil out there.
I mean, I think that fight's gonna be crazy, but I mean, it's also Sean O'Malley is in his first main event.
Yeah, it's a
He's
big deal.
headlining pay-per-view for a title.
Let me just throw out
against-
a couple ones.
yeah,
Ian
yeah.
Gary, you know, he's talked a lot this camp. He's talked a lot. We're going to talk to him in about
Wish
an hour.
it was still the Jeff Neal fight.
Yeah. But
was
still, I mean, it's a big
unfortunate.
test. Beating Neil Magny is a
Yeah.
big test.
Of course. And this
The
is what he
heat's not
wanted
there,
too.
though.
This is what he wanted.
Marlon Vera coming back after that super disappointing performance against Corey
Yeah.
Sandhagen against Pedro Munoz. Chris Weidman coming back two and a
Yeah,
half
that's big.
years
That's big.
after the leg break. It kind of stops there. I mean, there's good fights beneath that, but I feel like those are the top ones. I feel like that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that 5-pack, that's solid stuff.
I mean, I cannot wait for this fight card. And the craziest thing is that it could have been even better. Like, we obviously lost the Cody Garbrandt, Mario Bautista. We could have had the Ian Gary,
Yeah.
Jeff Neal. Could have had Cheeto versus Henry Cejudo. We're supposed to have Font and Song Yadong. But still, I'm very excited for this one. I think it's O'Malley, first main event, going for the title against a guy who some are now saying is potentially the greatest 135er of all time. Could be his last fight in the division. Main event. Belt on the line. That's number one for me.
Strong agree.
Yeah. But the other ones are solid.
Oh,
Yeah.
for sure. It's a sick card. And I love that they're going back to Boston. I think the crowd's going to be electric.
Card of the year.
I mean, come on.
I
We
feel like
gotta
every
watch it
pay-per-view
happen.
we say,
We got to watch it happen.
Card of the
Yeah.
year. This is the most stacked card of the year.
These next 4 pay-per-views are crazy, though. This into Izzy Strickland in Australia, into Abu Dhabi, into John Jones, Stipe at MSG.
Oh, and then December is going to be
McGregor Chandler.
if it's McGregor Chandler or even if it's the return of Yuri
Ooh,
against Alex
Yuri.
Pereira, and then we have to find a slot for Leon and Colby
Yeah.
potentially in New York City, or it's either New York or December. So
Great train, baby.
yeah, it's going to
UFC
be
is
a big
fire, man.
fourth quarter for the UFC. Speaking of Conor McGregor, he was on full display at the O2 this weekend. So there was a lot going on in the world of combat sports. Of course, Bellator had another event in South Dakota. They always do big business there. Solid win for Logan Storley. Was expecting just like
Nice
a
to see him get a
25-minute.
finish.
Yeah,
Nice to see him get a finish.
against the always dangerous Brennan Ward. Solid performances all around. It was, very long card, a lot of fights on the card, but entertaining stuff. Saturday night, very happy to see Vicente Luque back on track, healthy. Always impressive when you could beat a legend like RDA. To me, first ballot Hall of Famer in whatever Hall of Fame you want to create. Just, an absolute legend of the game. Khalil Roundtree with a very impressive performance as well. But to me, what happened at the O2 in London was the biggest story of the weekend. Multiple reasons. Anytime Anthony Joshua fights, it's a big deal. Fights a short notice opponent, was looking a little ho-humish in the early portion of the fight, then blasts him with the right hand, knocks out Robert Helenius, sets up the massive fight potentially with Deontay Wilder. But our boy Conor McGregor was on full display, like I said, and was there, ringside, shows up in the van or whatever that was, like a minibus, is all over the gaff over there. Just like ever, like present. He's just like ringside. You see him there, ringside, all that stuff. And then in the ring, our guy Ade Oladipo asking him a question in the ring, and he calls out KSI, which to me took me by surprise a little bit because obviously Jake Paul has been calling him out for the better part of 2 years or so and made it very personal. And then here he is saying that he would fight KSI in a bare knuckle fight, saying, I do believe, what is the line, GC? He couldn't box.
Yeah, he couldn't box eggs if he worked in an egg boxing factory.
I mean, what a line. Guys, are we buying or selling Conor McGregor versus KSI? And what about the promotion for October 14th? He's talking about Dylan. He's talking about Logan Paul. He's saying
he's basically locking Dylan in. He's saying that he's going to win. He said he's training him, so you better watch out because he's guaranteeing a win. KSI bare knuckle. I thought he already had a bare knuckle bout with Mike Perry for the.
Why bare knuckle though? That's what I would love to know. Why go from boxing to bare knuckle?
I don't know. I liked the plan he laid out in the ringside interview. I think he said Michael Chandler in December, then Justin Gaethje for the BMF belt, then the trilogy with Nate Diaz. I mean, sign me up for that. That would be incredible.
No KSI?
I don't think that's going to happen. I almost feel like he did that.
I didn't really know they had a feud.
I don't think they do. I feel like taking a shot at Jake, like completely ignoring Jake and just being like, "Yep, I'll bare knuckle box KSI." Just doesn't even mention Jake's name.
Would KSI do that? No. Why so dismissive? Why wouldn't he do that? It'd be the biggest fight of his life. He'd make a shitload of money.
Yeah, well, first of all,
He'd
it's
also
not
be bare knuckle boxing.
This is fantasy. Like this is not real.
What do you mean?
Conor McGregor is not bare knuckle boxing KSI. Stop this. Like, let's not even talk about this.
I love when he's like, "You're mad KSI's over there." Everything about it was hilarious. When Ade's talking to him and he's like, "And your man KSI over there, he couldn't box."
Also,
eggs."
he was holding the microphone too, like he just want to fight as well. It was so good. Yeah, the boxing the eggs line.
So you think
Conor's called out 10 people since he's more probably 20 people since he's last fought and isn't fighting. So let's just fight.
Buy or sell? He fights in December. He seems to be adamant on the December.
I'm buying it.
He's been adamant.
Yeah,
before.
I'm buying it.
Man, December's coming
This
up.
one I
I'm
thought
gonna sell.
I was out. They pull me back.
You're back in?
December.
I'm gonna sell.
You're gonna sell?
I think we're gonna get Dylan a real Dylan fight and not a Conor fight. That's my
Who'd have
Dylan
thought?
Dennis masterclass.
I'm selling.
Imagine where Dylan is the one that you're buying to show up and not Conor.
I think I'm really starting to
What a
think
world.
like with the potential fine, with McGregor backing him so hard, saying he's going to be there. I feel like this is the one he shows up for.
No, I've said this. You're talking about Dylan?
Yeah.
Yeah, no. I
know. I
he
think
does.
we're all in agreement on that.
What a strange world. All this getting intertwined. Like, this is the biggest name in MMA. Like it or love it. And he's calling out KSI, not even Jake Paul.
Yeah.
What a crazy world this is. How did this all get so intertwined?
Well, he's there. Like the Forged Irish Stout was like a big sponsor.
No, I know, but it came out of nowhere.
I hate to go back to the alcohol thing. When are we going to get some Forged Irish Stout?
Wow.
It's like we got to get the glass.
Something you need to tell us? Or
Having a case of the Mondays.
My
I
thing
mean,
is like,
come on.
why is this KSI one being taken seriously? Like, should Mike Perry be taken seriously? Like, none of this is happening. None of this. Like, it's not happening.
Until the 14th.
Can I tell
KSI
you
beats
why this one
Tommy
feels a
Fury,
little bit different?
McGregor
Tell
gets in
me.
the
I'd love to
ring,
know
they do a
because I put
face-to-face,
zero stock into it.
bare knuckle boxing.
For some reason, it feels a little different because it was unexpected. And I know the Mike Perry one was unexpected, but Mike Perry's an MMA fighter, so it's like I guess conceivably they could fight each other. This one just felt so out of left field. No,
I thought the Mike
Dude,
Perry thing felt
BKFC
pretty out
one
of left field.
Was out of left field. I was like watching that, and I thought I was a
Cowboy,
fever dream.
take the night off. I'm gonna hop in the ring and steal your mic time and call out Mike Perry. Like that's a weird thing to have happen. None of this has any grounding in reality. Like he's under
You
contract.
gotta
with
give
UFC.
him. You gotta give him credit. The dude is everywhere.
okay, you do have to say this. The big winner was October 14th, right? If
Sure.
he shows up
Yeah.
to that event and is their fight week, and if he's cornering Dylan in this fight against Logan Paul, as personal
Massive.
as that is getting, this is going to be gigantic business.
Yeah,
They should pay him. They should pay him to be involved. If I'm Misfits or DAZN, I'm paying him to train Dylan and be in his corner.
Yeah, it's not a bad idea. Not a bad idea. Or just let Forged Irish Stout be the main
I
sponsor.
think the
for free.
UFC would be the big losers in that equation.
What do you mean?
I think if that's what he's focusing his energy on, I don't know how
No,
the fight happens in December.
just to corner him for a week. He said he's going to train with him. He's going to be part of the
him,
training
this and
camp.
that.
No, he's going to be a part of the training camp. He said
They're
he's
going to train together. He's going to get
Yeah.
ready for December. Dylan's going to get ready for October
Don't be
14th.
so negative, bro.
Nah, don't see
Big
it.
business.
Don't see it.
Big business.
It was crazy. Do you guys think that Wilder Joshua is going to happen?
Oh, I hope so. That's what I want. Felt like Joshua in the beginning was like kind of timid to pull the trigger and everything. Obviously, he got the knockout, but he can't be like that against Deontay Wilder. That is the fight I want to see.
Oh, I would love to see that fight.
Yeah, I feel like it'll happen.
Luckily, we can ask
Eddie Hearn.
Eddie Hearn about that. By the way, speaking of bare knuckle, who? I'm not trying to be, I'm not trying to play games here, but like Bryce
Hall?
Hall, yes.
Shout out, bro. Shout out. Big win.
What is so he had a win also on Friday, BKFC?
Yeah.
What is he known for?
Like
TikTok.
he's like an
Is he just-
influencer, TikTok, Hype House, all that.
What is that?
It's like,
Content creation.
yeah, content
houses.
creation. Yeah, he's just famous.
He's famous like Jake Paul, Logan Paul. He just makes videos.
Yeah, like influencer makes videos. Yeah.
But is he like what kind of videos? Like Mr. Beast type videos?
No, definitely not Mr. Beast.
Not
type
Mr.
videos.
Beast
Like
type
TikTok videos.
But like, what is the content? What are we?
Like life. Like here's my life.
Okay, and he's super famous.
Famous.
Very
yeah.
famous.
Why did he go-
millions and millions of followers?
Why did he go BKFC and not just
I
regular?
think that's
cross-
smart.
Had he already done a BKFC fight and lost?
No. This was
He
this
did.
was-
He
this
did
was
a
a video.
YouTube versus TikTok event, right?
And lost.
and lost. Yeah.
And lost.
Yeah.
Then he came back and he smoked a guy.
Yep.
Yeah, I want to say he dropped him in round one. And
This is a
Oh,
huge coup
you're
for
talking
BKFC.
about this fight? No.
Yeah.
yeah.
It was
There's an injury, no?
It was an injury to his opponent. He looked decent. He dropped him once, and then the opponent like injured his elbow on the ropes at some point at the end of the first round, and then the opponent just was fighting with one hand, and it had to be stopped. It wasn't. He didn't come out there and like flatline the guy.
But it was a W.
Oh yeah, deserved W.
Oh, yeah, big
for sure.
W.
So is he like a BKFC guy now, or is this just like a one-off?
No, I think.
No, I think he's ready for another one.
Do you think they,
It's
they
smart. in
made
my
money off
opinion.
this? Like, was it a big deal?
That I don't know. But I think it's smart to enter this lane if you're willing to do it because it gets you some clout with that you're willing to put it on the line in a bare knuckle fight, and the influencer boxing market is kind of saturated with guys who are of similar lanes and calibers and things like that. So I think it's smart to differentiate yourself.
Isn't it wild that they go into the boxing, they go into the BK, but no one has really gone into MMA yet?
It's the hardest one.
Yeah, kind of a victory for MMA, WMMA. I'm not talking
Has there
about
been
women's
anyone?
MMA. I'm talking
No, I
about
know what
W
you're
space
saying.
MMA.
Yeah, no. I was aware, man.
I mean,
got it. I keep up with
CM
the
Punk did
times.
it.
Yeah, wow. You know what? CM Punk was the first influencer
CM
MMA fighter.
CM Punk did it.
Actually, James Toney.
He's a boxer, though.
Yeah. Wow. CM Punk was really ahead of the times. 2016.
I mean, Brock Lesnar.
Freaking national champion. He's like one of the greatest
Yeah,
collegiate
I'm
wrestlers
say,
of all time.
I will grant you, like it's different. CM Punk's probably the
Wow.
one with the least.
Yes, you're
True.
right. Is there another one? I mean, those dudes who fought in those K1 events in LA, like the one guy. Well, Johnny Morton. Remember, he got brutally knocked out. But then there was like some comedian. Was there a comedian that got brutally knocked out as well?
Yeah. How about we say like non-athlete, right? Like maybe that's the distinction. But yeah, I think it's smart. Carve out your path in BKFC.
Yeah, crazy. That got a lot of attention. I wasn't too familiar.
He's pretty famous.
I mean,
he's legit.
Good-looking guy. Is he a troublemaker? Is he viewed as like talk? Is he?
That I don't know. I'm sure. I mean,
I think he's just a heartthrob.
Is he a heartthrob?
24 million TikTok followers.
Wow. How much?
He's not the problem child.
No, of course not. I saw some reports about the pay-per-view buys for that fight. Not bad.
For the Paul Diaz?
Yeah. I don't know. I don't want
What were
to
they?
repeat them, but I think better than what most people were thinking. I don't know if it's true or not. I have no information when it comes to any of that stuff. But that would be a nice little feather in their cap, I would say.
Yeah, that is a decent number.
All right, so no Connor KSI. Bryce Hall, is he big enough for? I actually think it's a real thing. As I've been saying,
you think KSI Conor McGregor in bare knuckle boxing is like
maybe not the bare knuckle component, but I said it maybe 6, 7, 8 months ago. I feel like we're inching closer to him being involved in one of these fights. I feel like it's getting close.
Why wouldn't it be Jake or Nate? Like, why would it be KSI? Feels
Fuck, he wants him. He called him out.
No, come on. Let's just say the egg boxing thing wasn't his best stuff. I don't think he.
I
has
actually thought it was not bad.
Oh boy.
Wait, GC
How
agrees.
far are we falling?
Wait, you agree with me, GC? You liked it too?
No.
What? You said you liked it before I got here. You said we were talking outside.
Yeah. I said not his best work.
Now you're.
We're talking about one of the greatest trash talkers.
Yeah.
I thought
of
it was
all
a funny
time.
line.
Have you ever gone back and watched this dude's highlight reels?
Yes, I was there for most of it.
The one-liners that this guy used to fly off were like ingenious. All I'm saying, not his best work.
Wow.
Xboxer had
He used
some
it
room
twice.
for
He used it
improvement.
twice.
Okay, I mean, he did use it twice. He did use
Egg
it.
Boxing Factory. I'm not really. Is that a big thing in Ireland?
I don't know.
Is that like a common place? Like, I'm not gonna lie. I googled egg boxing factories and like there wasn't a big result. I was fighting for it. I was like, maybe this is a bar.
Oh boy.
I mean,
Not his
eggs
best
do
stuff.
have to be boxed somewhere.
Sure.
Of course, yeah, that is true.
And don't hire KSI because he's not capable.
Definitely don't hire KSI.
Speaking of,
We can get around to it.
Yes, Frank?
Did you see Elon Musk's response to Zuckerberg?
You know, I'm happy you brought this up. This was something I want to talk. You know, okay, you guys may not believe in KSI Connor. I believe now more than ever in Elon versus Zuckerberg. You know why? It has officially reached real fight status, if only because now we get the daily Twitter X thread updates in, out. Here's some of it. I mean, I definitely can't read it, but like, I'm in, you're out, I'm in, you're. That makes it feel real.
This feels real because Zuck said, I think we can all agree Elon isn't serious and it's time to move on from this.
That makes me feel like it's really real. Like,
Did you see the response to that?
Elon won't confirm a date, then says he needs surgery and now asks to do a practice round in my backyard instead. If Elon ever gets serious about a real date and official event, he knows how to reach me. Otherwise, time to move on. I'm going to focus on competing with people who take sports seriously.
And Elon responds, Zuck is a chicken. That's literally what he wrote.
That's all he wrote? What, when, today?
I saw it today, earlier. That's why I was like, this is the trash talking.
On
that
X?
you're doing. On X.
Oh, here it is. Yeah, I can see it on my screen. The fight will be managed by okay, well, the big update last week was Elon distancing himself from the UFC. And then Zuck saying, no, I want to do it with the UFC/1.
So all these things
W1,
together makes
right?
you think it's now more likely somehow.
Yeah, big
every
Dub
million
won.
percent. When it was
Big Dub won, but how do they get UFC and one to work together?
yeah, that's not gonna happen.
Also, what is the whole thing with Italy?
Yeah, well, they want to go to the
Coliseum.
Coliseum.
I spoke to the PM of Italy and Minister of Culture. They've agreed on epic location. Everything done will pay respect to the past and present of Italy. All proceeds go to veterans
They spoke to a rep in
and
Italy
pediatric hospitals in Italy.
who said no Coliseum, but maybe somewhere else.
Yeah, why no Coliseum?
I don't know.
I don't know. It's like one of the most historic.
Well, I've been to the Coliseum,
places and-
albeit a long time ago, and there's like stuff on the floor. There's like columns and stuff. It will be very hard to.
People died there.
Yeah, but I feel like they'll have to have a platform, and it's not exactly in the best of shape, like to house 80,000 people or whatever it would be. It does seem a little bit far fetched, the Coliseum part, but
Just that part.
just that part.
The rest of it.
When it was just Dana talking about it to JoeBlogspot.com wearing his shirt with the weird threading over here. I don't know why he does that all
Shout
the
out
time.
to the shout out to the threads, bro.
It did
I got
not
one
feel
recently.
real. It felt like he was just trying to attach himself to this fight. But what did I always say? I always said, why do they need any organization, including the UFC, to be involved? These are two of the richest human beings on the planet. Top 5 each, top 10 at worst. Why do they need anyone? They could do this anywhere. They could do this
Yeah.
in Alaska in the middle of nowhere and make gazillion dollars and stream it on their respective platforms. But it seems like Zuck really has a great appreciation for the MMA fighters and wants to give them an opportunity. Elon is just kind of,
Also,
he truly is all over the gaff. So the fact that he was then saying all this stuff, and then and then Zuck comes out and he's like, he doesn't want to fight, and then they talk about the backyard. That actually made me finally feel like this is a real thing, because this is the way fights are made. This is Tyson Fury and freaking Usyk. This is Conor and
we
Nate
still
Diaz.
haven't
Yeah,
seen
Tyson Fury and Usyk, which is not happening
Yeah, but those are real fights.
Also, the Coliseum thing,
and not
like,
happening.
Not just getting like 80,000 people in there to watch, but like you would need production, like you would need cameras, announcers, booths, all this. Like, there's just
Okay,
no way.
this is Crawford Spence.
No,
This is Tank Garcia.
The blow by blow,
Yes.
blow by blow conversation about it is the clearest indicator that absolutely nothing is going to happen, because all that is posturing from both sides to say, no, actually that guy's the scared one, that guy's the chicken, and then they'll never fight and they'll both just be calling each other chickens forever.
I mean, how much longer do we have? Musk he's already 52.
Yeah, it's
Like,
not
we're
happening.
working against the clock with him.
I actually believe, correct me if you feel other, I feel like Zuckerberg really wants to do this.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, because I think he thinks he's going to dominate the fight. He's like,
No, but he's
14
taking
years
this
younger, and
seriously.
He actually
Oh, yeah.
trains
He's
him.
training with guys. He did a 5K yesterday, under 20 minutes. You see that?
Zuck is
He's jacked, dude. And he's running sub 25 Ks at
Yes.
however old he is.
Zuck is Usyk. He wants
Jeez.
the fight. Musk is Fury. He does not want this fight right now. This is not the time
It's
for
got a
him.
lot going on. Just rebranded Twitter.
I
By
read
the way, when you
sub-
post something on social media, sorry to interrupt, is
Yeah,
it
go
via X? Do you do via X?
Yeah, it's X now.
Wow.
X now.
Yeah.
X.com.
Am I the only one, like when I have TweetDeck open and I look at
It's
the
not.
tabs?
It's called X Pro now. It's
Yes.
called
Am I the only one that, like, every time that happens, I briefly have a moment of panic because I think, like, some adult site is on my tab.
No. I still go to twitter.com.
It's called X Pro. There's like, it just doesn't feel real. I'm like, what? Did I get infiltrated by some spam bot? No.
Give it 90 days.
I can't say I've had the same experience.
Yeah, another.
Every time I look at X Pro, I think it's some shady site. X Pro?
Get the
Don't
app.
go to arielhelwani.com.
Oh,
dude.
jeez, don't plug that.
Wait, what app? What app?
There's like a desktop app of
Oh, for real?
X Pro. Yeah,
Oh, I didn't know that.
there's always been for TweetDeck. You don't have to go on the browser. That way, it's separated.
Oh, all right. What were you gonna say? Sorry, GC.
Oh, yeah. I ran a sub 25K in high school. I ran 3 miles this morning. Any guesses on how fast it took me? Me being 30 now, Zuck's like 39.
3 miles, you said?
Yeah, it took me like 27 minutes. So Zuck
That's incredible.
I'm incredible. Zuck is smoking me.
I know,
Zuck's
but
halfway home by the time I'm done,
Sure.
and he's like 38.
Yeah, but he's rolling
Dude,
with Izzy
I
and
mean,
Volk.
Just the pictures.
Jacked,
Yeah,
man.
he's
I need the vitamin C's on, bro.
It's looking
Better chance of happening. Connor KSI,
Wow.
Elon.
Yeah. I mean,
Is he-
neither.
What's bigger, 0 or 0?
Wow,
don't
this is
think
no
either.
fun. I'm trying to have fun here. You guys don't want to have fun? This is fun.
Not that much fun.
I'm
went
like
out-
trying to give a reason. I'm trying to give a reason on why either of them would happen.
Charity? Anytime you throw out charity, then it has to be for a good reason.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah, we know that to be fact for sure.
I wanted to do it for charity.
Also, 'cause I wish we could have had like a recording of the Elon Musk phone conversation with the Prime Minister of Italy about holding a fight at the Coliseum.
You know, it was just
Hello,
a random guy.
This is
on the
Elon
street.
Musk. I am the owner
Hey,
of
Elon
X. Do you think that Zuck and Elon have spoken about this?
Yeah, they were texting each other.
No, on the phone.
Maybe. Probably
Who do you
not.
think they message
Text.
on?
Text. for sure.
Instagram or X?
No, they text.
Facebook Messenger?
They look like text.
They would never go platform. They would never allow the other to have the win.
The
by
W,
using
yeah,
their
yeah,
platform.
yeah.
So they text.
Prime Minister of Italy. Oh, Giorgia Meloni.
All right, so I guess neither of those are happening.
This is what I'll say. I could see a world. This is what I could see a world where they do something together, but it will not be a fight.
Okay, then let me ask you this: do you see a world in the next 12 months where Mark Zuckerberg has an MMA fight?
Yes.
Wow,
Man, but who does he fight?
yo, that is crazy.
100%.
That's still insane.
Yeah. It is.
Who do we think he fights?
Bryce Hall.
Fuck. Get out of here.
That's the opposite end of the spectrum.
Oh my.
52-year-old that like is kind of out of shape. 23, however.
No, we're
Bryce
talking about
Hall.
Zuck, not Musk.
I know. I'm saying. Like,
Oh, the
his
comparison of opponent.
is-
Gotcha.
Bryce.
opposite end of the
No.
Does he fight in the UFC? I feel like that's a real thing.
I feel like
Not
he's
out of the
more
question.
open to the Dana thing than.
Oh yes,
Musk
yes,
is.
yes,
He's
1000%.
pushing.
I think
think
he
he
wants
likes
the
the
experience.
legitimacy.
Yes, he
Yeah.
wants the experience of being a UFC fighter.
Well, he laid it out pretty plainly.
Who
He
does he
also
fight?
wants to he recognizes if I'm Mark Zuckerberg and I'm fighting on a card, the exposure that the people underneath me could get from this would be massive. He's trying to promote the sport and promote the athletes. So yeah, I
What if
it's very
Zuckerberg
possible.
did one instead of UFC?
No, it's not.
huge. It'd be huge for them.
W one.
Huge W for one. Mark Zuckerberg is pretty much like GC and I when it comes to English soccer. Like MMA is this new, shiny, fun breath of fresh air for him, and I think
Yeah.
he's just immersed. Like you can tell, even on Threads, you know, when I pop on there, it feels like he's always talking about MMA in
100%.
some way, shape, or form. He's just in love with it, and how could you not admire that? I feel like he wants to make the walk.
I agree with you. I think it is very likely he does something and not likely at all
Just
that
who
that
does he
fight
fight?
happens.
Well, they can turn this again into how they handled the CM Punk situation.
Yeah.
And they did a whole looking for a fight. And in the end, you know, they found an opponent.
I just feel like if Zuck is going to fight someone, it needs to be someone with a decent amount of notoriety.
By the way,
in their name.
The next episode, the next series of The Ultimate Fighter could be winner fights Mark Zuckerberg.
I do not want to
See,
see.
no, you can't
a Mark
unless it's like a
Zuckerberg
celebrity tough.
No, you just get a bunch of 1-0 guys.
No.
You have a whole
But
tournament.
You're
and
gonna
he's
put
the prize.
Zuckerberg against Joe Schmo.
In
Yes.
that case, just do Facebook employees versus
Yes.
versus Meta.
Meta?
I
Wait.
mean, Meta employees versus X employees, or even mix in Tesla. Do whatever you want.
By the way, in order for this to actually work, it has to be a Joe Schmo.
Yeah, I don't think it will be somebody with a name.
Does
You
it?
can't put it.
Yes,
in
because
there
then you
against some
can
real-
then you, well this is, you know, it didn't necessarily work out with Punk, but this was the thinking. Like you put him in there against an unknown guy, and then you know, you have hopefully a future star. We thought for a minute Mickey Gall was that future star, right? Mickey Gall beat him, looked good in doing so, was featured on some big cards, didn't necessarily pan out. But you have to find a guy who's 0-0 and who's, of course, hard to find a guy who's 0-0 and a future star. It's hard to tell at that point, but
I feel like whenever the fight part of it becomes difficult, the grappling match is always kind of like the default. I could very easily see it being a
Zuckerberg, Bo
grappling
Nickel.
match.
no.
But yeah, I mean, a grappling match. If I had to place a bet right now, I think it'd be a grappling match.
Oh.
But I wouldn't be shocked by MMA.
Hasn't he done that already?
Yeah, he's done like the BJJ.
Yeah, he does like
Yeah.
the tournaments. I'm talking like
Oh,
a a Polaris or a
GSP
fight.
Musk on the December card.
Nah.
Have they announced his opponent yet?
They have not. I think
GSP's a Musk guy too. That'd
Yeah,
be
he is.
great. That'd be good.
I think next 12 months there's a very good chance he fights. Like,
Yeah.
I could
I
see
just
him
wanna
fighting
know
at
who.
UFC 300. Now here's
I
the
like
thing.
the idea of that.
D-
That'd
does,
be massive.
does it
I think it's got to be a celeb.
does it actually not make sense to put him on UFC 300?
I
Like,
don't think it makes sense to do that.
the same reason why I don't think Connor fights at UFC 300, because you might as well get 2 bites at the Big Apple. You put Connor on 299, you're guaranteed million X,
Yeah.
you know, views, and then 300 just on the fact alone that it's 300 and they're going to stack it to a degree. We'll get. So I actually think it's counterproductive to put that big name on 300. You know what I mean?
I also think it would be smart to isolate that fight away from the regular UFC product, right? Because he is not going to be a UFC fighter, right?
Oh, you don't think he's
we're-
going to fight on a numbered UFC card?
I think it would make sense not to, if I'm being
Oh,
honest.
1,000% they're going to do that.
I think it would
Show
make
love
sense
for
to
the
do.
Apex. I'm thinking UFC Apex 100 is when we
No. I'm not saying a fight night. I'm
Zuckerberg.
saying you build something separate. You build something completely separate as the.
I think
the
he
showcase
wants.
for that
I think
card.
he wants to be on a numbered card.
If he wants to, you give it to him. But what I'm saying is, if I was running it, it would be a separate
Yeah.
Zuckerberg show. It would be his show.
Just say like they were just like, let's just blow out UFC 300. Like, let's just make it the biggest event of all time. Zuck is on the card. McGregor's on the card. Who's the main event?
McGregor.
Gregor.
And I think Zuck would be down with that too.
Zuck, come in.
I think the respect that he has for the fighters and fighting and everything, I don't think he wants to be. I think he wants to just be one of the guys on a
Zuck
number.
featured prelim
So crazy.
before the pay-per-view starts.
I think it's a real thing.
What is happening right now?
He's just going down the card.
Come on the show. Let's talk about it.
Zuckerberg versus
So nuts.
XYZ.
All right, one guy who was in action this past weekend had a massive win. It took him just 85 seconds to get back on track. Our old pal Terrance McKinney had a massive win over Mike Breeden. He's kind enough to join us right now on the program. There he is. T-Rex, what's happening, my man?
Yeah. Hey, what's up? What's up?
Congratulations.
Hey, thank you, brother. I appreciate that.
Okay, it's a Monday morning. You got a victory. Been a minute since we had this feeling. Does it feel good to have this feeling back in your life?
Yeah, it feels great. Got to get that bitter, sweet taste out of our mouth, because we're definitely very capable of winning that last fight. So it feels good to get back in the weighing column.
Okay, actually, if I can, I wanted to go back to the previous fight, the one in January. How did you handle that? Because I know there was back and forth on Twitter and all this stuff, or X now. Like, it felt like some people were celebrating you losing and doing it in a disrespectful way. You're going out there, you're risking your life, you're putting your career online, all that stuff, and then you get back. And I know you're very active on social media, and you get back on there and you see all that. How did you deal with that, outside of the limelight?
It's not my first time people talking about me. Not my first radio. For me, it's just more motivation. And it just makes, like I said, it just makes me more hungry, man. So like I tell people, like the journey ain't done until it's done. So like everything is just a learning step. Even the wins, I can always take something away where I can get better.
It didn't feel like at one moment in the immediate aftermath, did it feel like everyone was ganging up on you? Did it feel like that bandwagon was getting empty?
Not at all. I just think people just hate to see me smiling, like they expect me to get down on myself, and that's just not how my mom raised me, That's not how adversity built me, like losses don't kill me, like I said. Like what they say, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger, and I truly believe that.
Why do you feel that people don't want to see you smiling?
I just think because they used to people getting down on themselves, and I just think that's all the devil, The devil wants to break us down. He wants us to quit. He wants us to beat up ourselves. He wants us to ultimately kill ourselves or someone kill us, or we kill our own journey. So, like, I just ignore it, It's part of the game. And my mom always told me, if you're not doing something right, if you're doing something right, there's going to be haters. So, like, when I see the haters, I know I'm doing something right.
Amen, brother.
Exactly. You're doing something right when you got the haters. So that's how I take it.
Paris Hilton once told me, not personally, of course, I read a quote. She said, haters make you famous.
Exactly, man. Exactly. You got to love both of them. As long as my name's still ringing in the circle, that's all right with me.
Right. Can I ask which was the tougher pill to swallow? The fight that ended in that, kind of dramatic, heartbreaking fashion in January, or the one, just a couple months ago where you thought that you were robbed, where you felt like you were wronged?
The last one for sure, because I know for a fact I was a better fighter. I just wish I would just kept on my feet, because I feel like I was seeing all the blows he was throwing at me. Like, he really couldn't land no really big strikes on me. I was seeing it all.
So
I should have just stayed on the feet.
Are you in fact going to appeal that loss?
Oh yeah, we're appealing it. Yeah, because you can see, I went from a good posture to when he grabbed the fence, I got crushed a little bit lower. He grabbed the fence one time, and then I'm completely on my butt in a compromised position.
what do you hope to achieve from that? Like historically, they don't really reverse those calls, even if it is blatant.
Yeah, exactly. But if not, I just want that in the air, and hopefully we get to do the dance again later on in the future.
Okay. Considering how those 2 fights went, you did go into this fight on a 2-fight losing streak. Were you feeling a little more pressure than usual?
This time none at all, man, because I was like, man, I told myself, like, I'd rather just get knocked out, go to my shield. At least I know I left it all out there. So for whoever I was gonna fight, I was gonna be T-Rex, and that's what me and the team told me. Just go out there and be T-Rex. So we were ready to fight to the death, and I wasn't gonna hold nothing back.
Wow. And you didn't have to be out there for very long. How good did that feel when you got the victory 85 seconds in?
It felt amazing. Like, I missed my son's birthday on the 9th,
Oh,
so I had to get this victory. There's no way I was gonna walk with anything less. I didn't miss my son's birthday to lose, so like that was for my son, and it felt so good.
man, your son's already a year old?
Yeah, already. Yeah, he's 1
Holy
year old
shit.
now.
That interview when you were in the hospital was a year ago? I can't believe that. Really? Is it the same son we're talking about?
Yeah.
Holy shit, that is crazy. A year old. Wow. What's it been like?
Yeah.
How would you describe this past year?
Incredible, man. He looks more and more like me as time goes along, and I know he loves to scrap. Anytime he sees me shadow box, he goes crazy. He loves it. So yeah, can't wait to see the future champion action.
That is amazing. And apologies if I've asked you this already, but if he wants to follow in your footsteps, would you be okay with that?
Yeah, but my goal is so he doesn't have to, you know.
Right.
And that's why I fight so consistently, so that my son will never have to do what I had to do.
How hard was it to miss his first birthday?
It was hard, man, but like I said, that baby formula ain't cheap, man.
Yeah.
So like sacrifices must be made.
I feel you. And speaking of fighting consistently, DC put you on the spot and asked you about when you wanted to come back. You said Boston. You just had no idea that Boston was actually this weekend?
I didn't know it was next week. I just listened to my big brother Holland, you know. We want to be the most active gym in the UFC, and we only got 2 fighters in the UFC at our gym, and we're being the most active, and we're looking to keep it going. But it looked like I might be fighting next month, actually.
Really? Which date?
I forgot what date they said, but you should have some news here soon.
Come. Against who?
I can't say, sadly, but
Why is
I
it?
think the fans are gonna. I think it's gonna be a good matchup to make me be able to get a ranked opponent next.
Known guy? Do we know him?
Huh?
Do we know the opponent? Like, is he a known guy or is he like some newcomer that we?
Yeah, I consider him a known guy for sure. He's been in UFC for a while.
Can you do me a favor? No Apex. Is it out of the Apex? You should be fighting in a packed arena.
It might be in Paris, actually,
that's
or
nice.
it might be in Apex. I heard it might be in Apex or Paris, one of those two.
Bro, I mean, talk about the penthouse to the outhouse. Paris or the Apex? Those are 2 completely different sides of the spectrum.
I know, but it like I said, you guys know me any place, anytime, as long as it's not next week.
Yes.
I just don't want to cut weight 2 times in a row like that. That'd be terrible.
But your boy Kevin would fight next week.
Oh, Kevin would fight next week. He had enough ready to get back in it. We honestly should be both fighting in September sometime. So
okay,
fans got something to look forward to.
Would you like to be on the same card as him?
Nah, because I want our night to be just for ourselves. You know, like I want his night to be special for just him. That way we don't have to share the shine. He has the shine and I have mine. So I like how it's been going.
How did the friendship start between you two?
So I changed management and I signed with KO Reps, and they sent me to Texas, right? And then I was gonna be on Kevin's podcast, Realize, Recognize, and he got me on a podcast. And right when I met him, I was like, damn, this is just the older version of myself. Like instantly click. I was like, this dude is literally just a giant version of me, just more mature. And I was like, this is the kind of mentor I need in the fight game. And right away we just clicked.
And so do you live in Dallas now?
Yeah, I live in Dallas Fort Worth now.
Wow. So you moved like you left, you're there full time.
Yes, sir.
And how's that been?
Good. As you guys see, my strike is evolving. I'm no longer just head hunting. I'm attacking the body, body kicks. We're really just evolving as a striker all the way around. And just in our footwork and keeping the guy on the back foot and making sure they can't escape out the cage. Making sure I'm beating the foot on the outside if they're right-handed. Like I said, the striking is just going to continue to evolve. And this is my second fight with the new gym, and I think there's just more to come. We're just getting started.
Do you live near each other?
Yeah, we're probably like 24, 30 minutes apart.
Okay. There was a stretch there where it seemed like Kevin was like a real life, superhero stopping all these crimes. When you hang out with him, does it just seem like things happen around him?
Yeah, they really do. Or I swear he'll find it. It's like he's like a walking police like monitor. You know where all the action's gonna be at. He's like a real life Frozone. They just listen to the radio and then he go do his superhero vigilante stuff.
That is crazy. Is he helping you? I know obviously you have a manager, Orrin Hodak, one of the best in the game, but is he helping you in terms of, just guiding you through the business of MMA and all that stuff as well? Do you feel like he's like a true mentor to you in and out of the gym?
Yes, 100%. He said, "You're not picking your fights anymore. I'm picking your fights."
Wow.
He's the one who told me you're taking this fight, and I was like, "All right, let's do it."
Wow. That is great. I love to hear that. So September, I mean, if it is Paris, that's in less than a month. That's okay with you?
Yeah, that's plenty of time for me to be healthy for a little bit. I'm a natural body weight, and yeah, I can get the weight done. It's never a problem. I'm a wrestler, as you guys know. And the power of water loading is for real. So if you ever cut weight, make sure you guys are water loading. It makes the process easy.
How much are you drinking when you're water loading?
Probably 2 gallons, and then by like Wednesday of fight week, I'm at 1.5 gallons, and then on Thursday we just have like 1 liter of water, and then we make the weight cut.
And when does the 2-gallon process start? How far out?
I try to start probably like week and a half out.
Okay, wow. Don't you have to go to the bathroom like an insane amount of time?
Huh?
Don't you have to go to the bathroom a lot when you drink that much?
Oh yeah, yeah, exactly. It just flushes you right out. Like 1 second, like the start of this fight week for the last fight, I weighed 175.
Wow. Holy smokes.
And we got all the way down to 156.
And it wasn't difficult.
No, it didn't hurt at all with the water load. It actually felt good for it staying.
Felt good.
Yeah.
What do you mean by feeling good?
I got to have a popsicle. I was stoked.
Oh,
I cut it like an extra pound. That way I won't be dying. I was like, I'll do it for the smoothie, the little popsicle strawberry. It was hella good.
I saw afterwards you gave your haters the old DX chop. Why'd you do that?
Because they could suck it, man. Like I said.
What? But I thought you don't care about the haters.
I know, but they asked me a question about him, and I had to send them my response for him.
That was crazy. You and Anthony Joshua on the same night. You see him do the DX too, and then someone else did it recently. Who else did it recently? Someone else.
Yeah, man, it's trending. Everyone knows. Like he shut the haters out and just made it motivation. He got the job done.
Yeah.
So shout out to Anthony Joshua. Good to see him back in the win column.
That's right. I saw an interview recently with Saif Saud, who also coincidentally is a coach in the Dallas area, but not with your team, Fortis MMA. And he talked about social media. And he's like, man, and he wasn't talking about anyone in particular, but he's like, some of these fighters are posting on social media right before they walk out, and then they're getting all this hate and they're thinking about it too much. Is there ever a point where you think it's too much, where you're too connected to the phone, where you're too, you're too much on the device, and then it could mess up your mind?
For me, a lot of people don't know I got a social media manager. Like most of the times I just do just the DMs part. Like I always do the fan interaction. I'll slide up on a comment, but all my posts are done by my social media manager.
Come on,
like
really?
if I was doing all the stuff, it would sound retarded. I'm probably the worst English typer in history. So yeah.
Wait, so all those memes and stuff that I see you posting on Instagram and Twitter, that's someone else?
Yeah, I just due to approval. They send it to me, and I'm like, all right, I like that. That's funny. The fans gonna love it. Post it. I just give the final yes or no.
Okay, who's the guy? Who's the guy behind the guy?
I can't tell you guys that.
Okay, is he right next to you? Is that why you're looking up?
Nah, he's
Okay.
not right next to me.
Wow, I feel like I just found out that Santa Claus isn't real. I thought that was you. And if I could be honest, I was gonna say I think you're posting too much, but now we found out that it's not you. So I guess you're fine.
Yeah.
So when you walk out, it's not really you posting and all that. It's someone else.
No, I tell him beforehand. I told him beforehand. That's only one time I got to do the tweet, and we went out there, got the rear naked choke.
Amazing. All right. Well, now I feel a lot better about it because there could be a lot of toxicity, a lot of crap that you have to deal with, right?
Yeah.
One other thing I want to ask you about Kesa Holland back in Salt Lake City. How difficult was that for you to watch that?
I had to support my teammates, but yeah, it was weird. It was awkward because like I wouldn't have been mad at whoever won. I would have told them congratulations, I love them, and whoever lost, I would have messaged them and be like, keep your head up. You're still one of the best guys in the world, and I know you're gonna continue to show that and let the world know. I messaged Kiasa, sent them some positive words because he's still that guy. Still been ranked top 10 in 2 different weight classes, which is huge. I told him keep his head up and know that you're still one of the best out there.
Okay. Yeah, it's a tough because I know you have that connection to Michael from back in the day, and now Kevin's your big brother. So, kind of a weird thing that it all worked out like that. Huge win for Kevin as well. And so, we may see you back there in less than a month. Last chance to tell us who it's against.
just stay tuned, man. Like I said, fans keep on the lookout.
T-Rex is back though.
Yeah, T-Rex is back. We're fighting from here on out. I'm not holding nothing back. I'm letting it all fly.
I love it. Congrats, man. Enjoy the victory.
Hey, thanks, brother.
Enjoy everything that comes with it. Looking forward to your next one.
Yes, sir. Stay blessed, Ariel. Always a pleasure, man.
You're the man. There he is. Terrance McKinney, T-Rex, back in the win column. One of the big wins from this past weekend. He beats Mike Breeden via very impressive fashion. On the undercard, beat him in just 85 seconds. There was a stretch there on the prelims where it was just finish after finish after finish. Luana Santos, Damon Blackshear, Jacqueline Amorim, Martin Boudet, Isak Delgarian, Terrance McKinney, Marcus McGee. Boom, boom, boom. Look at that. All finishes. Then we got into a couple of decisions. Then another submission. Then Khalil Roundtree with the crazy finish against Chris Dawkins, moving down from heavyweight. Cub Swanson, Hakeem Dawodu. A bit of a controversial one. Credit to Cub for saying, yeah, I don't think I won that fight. You don't hear that often. Feel bad for Hakeem, though. Does he get his show and win? Someone asked me about Wonder Boy. Still no official word on that whole situation, on what he's going to end up with, when he's going to fight. As I said last week, I think there were a few dominoes that needed to fall. And I wonder, by the way, he said Kevin Holland next month. I wonder if we're getting Kevin versus JDM. This is not me reporting anything, so everyone calm down. Let me see. Is there anyone who's... No. But I did hear that they wanted to see what was going to happen with Wonder Boy, maybe Wonder Boy JDM, maybe Wonder Boy Usman. If it's not Wonder Boy next month, then maybe JDM versus Kevin Holland, which I think would be a tremendous fight. No, don't do that. That's not what I was saying. No, because now some Fugazi site is going to be like, according to Ariel Helwani.
My bad.
GC, how do you feel about Terrance revealing it's not really him on social?
Yeah, I don't know how to feel. Honestly, I've had some good exchanges with him on social, and now I find out that it's not him. I mean, it's a little devastating. I can't lie. Also, you didn't ask him about the red shorts.
Fuck.
I was really curious about the red shorts.
Damn.
Felt like that was the switch up, you know?
Oh, you think so?
Yeah, that was the switch up. This is the title run now. Maybe red is his kid's favorite color. He was doing it for his
I forgot.
birthday.
It was so...
I could have gotten a great soundbite.
It was so uninteresting to me, the color. For some reason, New York Rick, did you know this? GC loves to know why people are wearing X color shorts. Why is this interesting?
Listen, if they depend on a certain color of shorts throughout their whole career and then they suddenly walk out in something else, They obviously made, a decision to do that. He walked out in red. I think that was the first time we've seen him in red.
Fuck, the fact that you even know that.
Easy with the blue at 287.
The fact that you even know that too.
You're crazy. You didn't see the pictures at the photo shoot of Izzy in blue and your jaw didn't drop?
No. This
I had
is
to
so
pick my jaw up off the
uninteresting.
floor.
This is I couldn't care less.
Ian Gary with the purple last fight camp.
I wish I lived in a world where none of this
Story
mattered.
behind it.
No, yeah. Tell me about the story when Mike Tyson walked out wearing all black. If we're comparing this to that, you're crazy.
I wasn't,
Terrence Crawford walking out with the fishnet.
I would have noticed.
That's big time stuff. Chuck Liddell walking out with the ice shorts. That's big time stuff. Tito Ortiz walking out with the fire shorts is big time stuff. Terrance McKinney walking out with the freaking blue Venom shorts is not big time stuff.
Red. It was red.
Oh, whatever.
He's done the blue previously. Maybe he's just trying to make his rounds. Maybe he's just trying to get every Venom color. Some of the fighters try to do that.
Are you serious?
Feels like
is this the thing? Is this the thing that happens on MMA Twitter?
We're waiting for the purple shorts.
I created MMA Twitter. It didn't exist. Now it's like hashtag MMA Twitter. By the way, you're a certifiable loser if your Twitter handle has like hashtag Alex Pereira on it.
Wow.
No. Okay?
Oh, you're isolating a lot of your fan base.
I need to remove my hashtag.
Yeah.
Hashtag.
Next thing you're going to say is I can't have my profile picture be a fighter
Yes.
with like a Santa Claus hat on.
No.
This is ridiculous.
No, it's because those are the ones that talk the most shit. If you're going to talk shit, then just be yourself.
That actually is true.
Stop it
true.
with this.
Yes.
Anyway, you know what? Can I say something? If you speak like that, you need better help in your life.
Ooh.
If you speak like what about the Venom shorts being different colors, I need to get better help.
Both.
That's what you're saying?
Both. Support from this episode comes from our good friends over at BetterHelp. You guys know this. I've talked about BetterHelp, one of my favorite partners to work with on this show. I'm so happy that they're a part of the family. If you ever had to make a big decision, just felt stuck, you need to speak to someone. You want to speak to someone who's independent, right? Who's not associated with your life, not a loved one, not a wife, a spouse, a husband, not a mom, a dad. You need to make a big decision. In fact, I was in this spot back in 2021. I was a bit stuck. I wasn't sure what to do. What did I do? I called up a therapist. I didn't know about BetterHelp at the time. Had I known, I would have called them up. And then week after week, we started speaking. We started opening up. And then it felt like the clouds were opening up in my brain. It felt like everything was making sense. And then I made the great decision to come back on this program. So if you ever need to pivot careers, make a big move, start a podcast, start a new venture, change directions, want to talk to someone who has no allegiances to any side, who just wants the best for you. Sometimes in life, as we all know, we're faced with a crossroads and we don't know which path to take. Maybe you're thinking about a career change or feeling like your relationship needs some attention. Whatever it is, therapy could help you map out your future and trust yourself to find the way forward. If you're thinking of starting therapy, maybe give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online and designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. Just fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist and switch therapists anytime for no additional charge. Let therapy be your map with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/MMA Hour today to get 10% off your first month. Again, that's BetterHelp.com. That's HELP.com/MMA Hour. I say support them because they support us, but also support yourself, my friends. There is nothing better than speaking to someone. There used to be a negative stigma attached to all of this. It will dramatically change your life. You will feel better about things. You'll feel better about your life. And I can assure you, you will make better decisions. So if you are in need of someone to speak to, an independent mind, body, and soul, a voice, if you will, go check out BetterHelp. We appreciate their support very much. All right, we were talking about the biggest stories at UFC 292. Obviously, you have the Sean O'Malley title fight, first time in his career. You have the Aljo title defense, and then where he goes from here. Zhang Weili returning, Chris Weidman returning, but without a doubt, one of the biggest stories on this card in Boston is the return of the undefeated, the future, Machado Garry. Now, we thought that he was going to be fighting Jeff Neal. In fact, he's fighting a different kind of Neal. He's fighting Neil Magny instead, because unfortunately last week we found out that Jeff Neal was injured. And so let's speak to him about all of this and more. Here he is, our old pal, Ian Machado Garry. Hello, Ian. How are you? All good?
How are you, sir? I'm great. It's great to be back here. Thank you for having me.
It's a pleasure as always. I saw a little bit of a snippet. You've been very open with your life as of late on social media, but can you tell us, like, internally, because, you know, this was a big deal for you. This was a big step for you in your career. This was the next big test. When you found out about Jeff Neal's injury and subsequent withdrawal, how did you feel?
Upset because I had planned so much beauty around that finish that I was gonna go in there and perform for the fans. I was annoyed because beating number 8 in the world and doing it in the way that I had planned was going to be so beautiful, Ariel. I promise you, it was going to be magnificent. So I feel robbed of that opportunity. And yeah, at the end of the day, now I'm looking at Neil Magny, and big shout out to Neil for stepping up, but I just don't think either of the guys are going to be good enough to beat me. So I'm annoyed, but I have to go in there and do a job, Aaron.
The good news is you're still on this big card. You're still fighting, so that's great. Was there a period there where you thought you may not still be on the card?
No, I believe that I am carrying this 292 card on my back.
Wow.
And that if it wasn't for me, this card would go down the drain. And with the opponent change and everything, I think at the end of the day, I'm just happy the fans get to see me, because I know there's a lot of Irish and Brazilian support in Boston that are excited to have me there. And I'm glad the fans get to watch me live in action.
Aljamain Sterling, Sean O'Malley, Zhang Wei Li, Chris White, you're carrying the card. Why do you feel that way?
For sure. I'm Irish. We're fighting in Boston. They have a massive Irish contingent. I've just been in Brazil the last 2.5 months. The biggest contingent for Brazilians is in Massachusetts and Boston. This is the stage, the platform where I go in there, and you say it. You've got the likes of Sean O'Malley and Aljamain and all these guys, that I'm the superstar on the card. It will happen in the last fight. It's happening in this fight. The wheels are in motion. I just have to show up and do my thing, and the world will see.
Could I respectfully push back on one thing? I've heard you say that Jeff kind of, I think as you put it, like bitched out and all this stuff. Like, aren't injuries a part of the game? Why are you taking it so personally? And why does it feel like it's a reflection on him from your perspective that he got hurt and had to withdraw?
Because I had a feeling that he was going to pull out a long time before he did. Because I believe that when you're fighting a young prospect and you've just come off a loss, it can be scary. It can get into your head. It can play mind games. He lost to Shavkat, and now he's coming up against one of the other future prospects, future champions that everyone's ranting and raving about. And if you sign that contract, you have to show up, in my mind, especially when you're fighting a younger guy. You have to show up. And the fact that he didn't, and the fact that I had that feeling that I knew he was, it sucks. I believe I got in his head, Ariel. I believe I got in his head with the mugshot tee that we did. I believe the mind games won this fight, and that he was in his head so much that it ended up forcing him to pull out. And I've heard from different people, different reasons why he's pulled out. I haven't heard one clear answer. If I told you, Ariel, now I broke my hand, and someone else tells you I broke my hand and I broke my hand, it's quite clearly I broke my hand. I've been told 3 different reasons why he's pulled out of the fight. So I just can't stay here and believe what I'm being told.
So because you're getting 3 different reasons, you think ultimately you were in his head and he wanted nothing to do with you in the end?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
The T-shirt, and I know you're now kind of claiming victory, right? I think you're saying you're now 13-0. Ultimately, why did you decide to do that? You showed up, I believe it was International Fight Week, right? 290 with the T-shirt.
291.
Yeah. Why did you decide to do that?
It was look, we like to play mind games. We like to have fun. We like to be disruptive. A lot like someone that you like. You know what I mean? You love Jake Paul, right? What does that guy do better than most people? He's disruptive, correct? He causes trouble. He causes games. By the way, I ran into Jake Paul last week.
Oh.
Yes, sir. I ran into Jake Paul. Let's just say that 2 very disruptive people are colliding to do business together and work together.
Oh.
I have I have joined the Better team.
Oh wow!
So we're going to be doing a lot of creative content. A lot of disruption is going to come of it. And if you want some advice from one of the world's best strikers for Nate Diaz, you know who he's coming to, right?
Wow. Okay. Congratulations on that. That's pretty big news for you. Did you get to train with him?
No, we had a quick chop up. We chatted about it. We talked about some stuff about if the Diaz fight does come to fruition. I was like, you have to hit me up. I was, you absolutely have to come to me, and I will show you how to just completely dismantle a southpaw.
Okay. Yes, we'll see if that all comes to fruition. Back to you though.
But back to your point.
Yeah.
Being disruptive.
Yeah.
When we sign a fight, we did it with Cannabolics and the pizza for D-Rod on fight week. We sent him the pizza. That got massive traction, and it got fans like enjoyed it, like involved in the experience of, oh my God, I can't believe he missed weight. Like it gives that fans something to cling on to and hold on to and get excited for. Now, if you're one of the best guys in the world and you have a mugshot, and I can take advantage of the media goal that a mugshot can bring, and the merch game and the excitement and the banter and the slight jabs that it is selling that on my Instagram, it's phenomenal. And it's clearly played on his mind. I know it has. I've seen him sending his dad or his coach a message saying he's dead. And it's like, it's just, I had him so emotionally invested in the fight mentally that now that he has dropped out and pulled out of the fight, you cannot sit there and tell me that that's not a win for me.
If they come back to you after this Neil Magny fight and say, let's settle this between you guys because it has gone somewhat personal, are you interested in that?
I'm always interested in fighting people that are ranked higher than me. That is the whole goal. That is that everything I've been ranting and raving about and preaching is that if you are ranked higher than me, there is always an opportunity for that fight to happen. Especially when you look at all the rest of the division, there's only a certain amount of people I can fight. However, I feel like I've already beaten them. I feel like I've already got that win, and there's other people in the division that excite me more.
Like who? Wonderboy,
Kobe, Usman, Kamzat, Bilal, Kevin Holland's coming up. He's going to get a fight soon. There's so many people. The entire top 10 is something that excites me. I'm about to break into the top 10 now. Saturday night, I'm going to beat Neil Magny in beautiful fashion. And then I'm in the top 10 area. I'm in the top 10 in such a short amount of time that every single possible matchup that you could put me in is going to be absolutely ridiculous.
So what all those names have in common that you just mentioned, like those are the top dogs. You feel like this is the fight that gets you into that conversation. Like everything changes after 100%. Saturday.
100%. He's ranked number 11 in the world. Look, I will give credit where credit is due to people who deserve it. Neil Magny is a dog. Neil Magny is one of the best winners in the sport. And I say that because Neil comes out of fights that he shouldn't win with a win. He goes in there and he beats people with the same game. Everybody knows what Neil's going to do. He's not the most beautiful striker in the world. He's not the best grappler in the world. He's not the best wrestler in the world. But he'll go in there and he'll make it a clinch. He'll make it a dogfight. He'll push you up against the cage. He'll make it an awkward fight, a grind. He'll push people to the limits where they have to quit or they have to show why they're the best. And I seen a line a while ago. He separates contenders from pretenders. Neil Magny is that guy. He has been in the area. I think he's been ranked in the top 15 since before I was an amateur fighter. I genuinely think that's the truth. I genuinely think he's been in the top 15 before I was an amateur. Now I'm stepping in here. He's number 11 in the world. When I finish him, there is absolutely no realm where I am not ranked 10 or more in the world. So for me, absolutely every single person that is in that top 10, I am now looking at as a potential opponent. And it's like, it's exciting. It's exciting to see where we were to where we are and how fast it's been and the journey we've been on and the growth and the excitement and what else is to come. It's just, I'm still a fan of this sport who's just in there doing what I love, and I get to beat some of the best in the world now, and that's what I'm excited for.
By the way, speaking of being a fan, do you remember when Conor fought in Boston against Max Holloway? Were you watching that?
I was, yes. Look, everything that Boston brings to the table, the reason I say, I'm carrying this card is the Boston contingent is going to be out in full support. Full support. And when I walk out and I'm representing that tricolor, every single person that has that Irish heritage, that Irish connection that's in that building is going to lose their mind. And it's going to be something special. And I'm excited for it. I look forward to it because I think people will finally see that I am one of the biggest superstars in the UFC. And it's just every single fight I get to prove that. Ariel, I've told you about every single fight. Fighters will say X, Y, and Z. They'll say all the same things. Oh, he's not fought anybody like me. You know, I'm the biggest test he's ever fought. They all say the same things. Yeah, I beat them. Yeah, every single fight I've ever been in the UFC, I've always been the person that the fans and the reporters are always talking about. Ian Garry showed up and he did it again. He proved that he is the future. He remained undefeated. Boston is going to be Ian Garry is legit. There's so many matchups we're excited for. Who is he going to call out? What are we excited for? The world is just going to explode, and I'm excited for it.
So after the last London show, David Shaw, who's an executive in the UFC, said, you know, it's time that we start looking outside of London. He did reference Ireland. This has to happen. I feel like this is the one thing that's been missing, like a big homecoming fight for you. You win on Saturday. How much closer do you think you are to that fight happening, that scene happening, that moment happening for you?
I believe I've been pushing for it, Ariel. I met Dana in London. I said to Dana, we need that. We need the Irish back in. Like, we need the UFC back in Dublin. We need them back in the 3 arena. The fans deserve it. The Irish deserve it. What Irish MMA has done for the sport is absolutely, like, there's no one else that has had the same. Like, the way the Irish took over, the fans, the way they just got excited behind Conor was, there's no other comparison. There really isn't. And that is what happens when you put on a show, when you bring the UFC to Ireland, it is going to connect in a different way. I am the guy who's leading this second wave of Irish MMA. I am that guy. I'm ranked in the top 15. I'm going to be ranked top 10 in the world after this fight. And I believe I want to fight again in December in Vegas. I want to fight another guy between 10 and 5. And after that, there is absolutely no argument that the UFC have to come back to Dublin. They have to put on an amazing show, put me on the main event, and you can put anybody in that top 10 and be exciting. And I believe we deserve it. We've got a rake of talent that are coming up in the Cage Warriors. You've got champions that have just been signed from Cage Warriors. You've got people that need to be signed from Ireland. You've got Rhys McKee and Caelan Loughran who've just recently been signed. Both Cage Warriors world champions. I don't know how in the world Paul Hughes hasn't been signed to the promotion already, but he deserves to be signed. There is so much talent that is brewing in Ireland at the moment behind the scenes that people don't see. And for me to bring the UFC back to Dublin is a dream come true from a young Irishman who watched Conor, who watched all of that whole buzz, that mania around Ireland. To be able to do that myself is going to be a dream come true. And to be able to give the opportunity for others to join the promotion because of my success it's just going to bring Irish MMA to a whole new level. And I'm excited for it. And I will earn that. And I'm pushing for it and I'm parading for it. And when I get on this mic on Saturday night after my win, I'm going to shout it out. I'm going to call it out because it's what we deserve.
Yeah. It's long overdue. Do you have a name that you will call out on Saturday?
Yes, but I have to wait and see if there's other people that are being in talks. I know that there's talk. Look, this is the thing when you get to the top 10. There's only a certain amount of fights that you can call out because other people are matched. Do you know what I mean? For example, Khamzat's up at middleweight. You've got Leon. That everyone thinks Leon's going to fight Kobe. Who's Bilal going to fight? Who's Gilbert's out injured? Do you know what I mean? Who's Shavkat going to fight? Who's Brady going to fight? Who's Wonderboy going to fight? You hear all these talks. I need to talk to my people and find out who is linked, who is thing, because I don't want to call someone out and have that fight not come to fruition. I have my people that I want to call out, and I'm going to make it happen. When I win, I know who I want. So let's wait till Saturday night and you'll see. But trust me, it'll be worth it.
You know what's crazy? When you called out Magny in Charlotte, he was already booked, and now you end up fighting him. Isn't that nuts?
Look, I've said this before. I get what I want always in life, Ariel. I put that energy out there, and it comes back to me tenfold. I told you, I believe Jeff was going to pull out. I said it to my wife ages ago. I thought he was going to pull out. I didn't think he was going to show up. And Magny is as game as game comes. He's stepping in on short notice, but you got to give respect to me too. I was going and fighting a 5'10" short, stocky power puncher in southpaw to fighting a long, rangy 6'3" orthodox who likes to clinch and grind the fight out. So I'm taking a fight on short notice too, and I'm going to go in there and show why I'm one of the best in the world, because when challenges come in and opponents change and the fight game is what the fight game is, I'm going to go out there and do what I do best, and I'm still going to knock Neil Magny out.
By the way, something just occurred to me. Just curious. I mean, your loyalty and your admiration for Conor has never been questioned, but you just signed with the guy who keeps trying to fight him and talk shit about it. How's that going to sit with him?
Look. I've said this before. I am Conor's biggest fan. I am literally the first fighter of a generation to make it to the UFC because of Conor's rise. Mm-hmm. Right? What they want to do and what they have and their personal beef has nothing to do with it. Do you know what I mean? If you have two friends that don't get on, if you have two people that you know that don't get on, you can still be friends with both. You can still do business with both. You can still talk to both. You can still go over to both of their houses and have dinner. What they have is nothing to do with me.
Fair. Okay, fair enough.
That's called being an adult.
That is the right answer.
And trust me, I've seen it. I've been part of it with shit gone through. It's a horrible way to be. I don't want to get in between two people. You do your shit. If you guys don't like each other, fucking you be you. I'm being me.
Right. No, 100%. We had Charles Oliveira on recently, asked him about training with you. You just mentioned being in Brazil for 2.5 months. I know your wife is she born in Brazil? Is she from Brazil?
No. Her mother's Brazilian. Her entire Brazilian. She has about 70, 80 Brazilian relatives. But her mother flew to England, loved England, settled down in England, and then every summer they went back to Brazil.
Okay. For you, though, to go back with her as a father and training there with the likes of Charles and others, what was the experience like?
Sensational. It was... Ariel, I've been saying for 2.5 years to my wife that I want to go to Brazil and I want to live in Brazil, and I've never been. I just see from every Brazilian that I've ever met, every Brazilian that I've crossed paths with, their energy is different. It's something that I can connect to on a different level. And to be able to go to Brazil, to be able to learn Portuguese, to be able to immerse myself in the Brazilian culture was something that was so special, and I'll never, ever, ever forget. And I'm excited to go back whenever it may be, to be able to train in shoot the box, to be able to train in Belo Horizonte with the likes of Felipe Pena, and just do the Brazilian way the right way, and do it with the Brazilians and mix it up and have the food, the energy, the family vibes. I absolutely for sure can say that I would retire in Brazil in a heartbeat, in a blink of an eye, and never, ever, ever look back on it. And I cannot wait to go back. I'm delighted I got to bring my little boy to see his Brazilian side of the family. And yeah, I look forward to when we get to go back.
Did you have any acai, most importantly?
Oh, of course I did, yes.
Tremendous, isn't it?
Actually, the first acai I got in Brazil was in Sao Paulo with Diego Lima. He brought me to show me around. His energy is very special. As a person, that man is a special person. The way he looks after his fighters, the way he takes care of them. It's not a gym, it's a family. So I just want to shout that out, because the love and the open arms that I was met with about Shoot the Box was very, very, very special. But the first acai I had was with Diego Lima. I got guaraná and banana acai.
It's tremendous. A little granola on top. Did you have any granola?
No. I actually got a smoothie. Elvis recommended a smoothie.
Interesting.
So I tried it. I was like, I'll go with that. Oh, sensational.
The best. It nothing like here in America. It tastes completely different, right?
Nothing. And you know what? In Florida, there's a couple that are close because they're all Brazilian run.
Yeah.
But no, absolutely. Just the food in general. Where I was, Minas Gerais is like the most famous for food in Brazil.
Okay.
Ariel, I promise you, it is the best food I've ever had in my life. I ate 4 times more than I was eating in America, and I was lighter. My health, everything is better because the food in Brazil is just special. It's different. If you ever get a chance to go to Belo Horizonte, if I'm ever in Brazil and you ever want to come link up, I will show you the best restaurants you'll ever be at.
Were you sincere in flying over to fight Wonder Boy on 24 hours notice?
Oh my goodness, Ariel, you should have seen me. So I was getting a tattoo. I had like a stencil of a tattoo drawn. I was 100% serious. Because what's exciting for me, I've always said this. I'm a UFC fan first. The fact that I'm a UFC fighter, top 10 in the world, that's my life. But I'm a fan at first. I was a fan of the sport before I was a fighter of the sport. So when I think of like people jumping in on short notice, when I think of short notice fights, I think they're so badass. I think the person that steps in on short notice and saves a card or saves a fight, it's so badass. So for me to be in Brazil, for me to get on the phone to my management, to be with my team, because we were all in the same building getting tattoos. When we were all there, and I'm like, legit, I will genuinely get on a plane tonight. I will weigh whatever Wonder Boy wants to weigh tomorrow morning. I will weigh less or the same as him, and I will fight him. One, out of respect for Wonder Boy, because I believe he deserves it. He's always been matched up with wrestler and grappler and wrestler and grappler. It's like, let the man stand and bang. Let the man showcase his skill set on the feet. Like, from a fan point of view, I want to see him do what he did against Kevin Holland. I don't want to see him get wrestled. I don't want to see that. There's no interest for me. So why wouldn't I do that? Also, the respect and the joy I would have from the fans and the audience and the UFC staff and everyone for stepping in on less than 24 hours and fighting Wonder Boy on such a big card. 100%, I promise you from the bottom of my heart, I was sincere. I would have got on a plane that night and I would have fought the next day 100%, because I don't think there's storylines like that in the UFC. There's not with people willing to do that. I'm excited by matchups like that, to the point at which when Jeff pulled out and people were like to me, oh, I see all the people in the comments, Wonder Boy, Wonder Boy, Wonder Boy. I'm like, it's not as cool the other way around. It's not as cool if Wonder Boy wants to fight me. I'm way more excited to go fight him. But yes, 100%, I was sincere about that.
By the way, that tattoo is pretty gnarly in the back of your head there on your neck.
Yes, sir.
Isn't that close to a fight to get a tattoo?
I've gotten fights every time before my fight. Every single fight. I always get tattoos before my fight because I can. I love it. I respect, look, I am a new evolution of fighters. I'm the new era of fighters in this sport. Respecting the rest and recovery of your body is something that I don't see a lot of elite MMA fighters do. They all talk about the grind. That's how you wear your body out and you burn the cogs. You need to respect rest and recovery, and you need to give it the time it deserves, because you don't get a horse ready to race by going, all right, I'm going to run you every single day. I'm going to run you into the ground. You're going to race and go all out. No, you slowly prepare that horse to go. You slowly prepare that build up, that fight, so that when you get to fight me, you're peaking. And that's exactly what I do. So no, I took a couple of days off. I took 4 or 5 days off after I got the tattoo. I flew from Sao Paulo back to Belo Horizonte. I flew from Belo to Miami, and then I jumped straight into training in Florida.
And did you bust Chris Curtis's ribs? What happened there?
Oh, mate. Oh,
what's going on?
That guy is so nice, and I love him. This is what I mean. Look, I pulled in a picture-perfect sparring partner to get me ready for Jeff Neal.
Mm-hmm.
Chris Curtis is the same height. He's a half-inch longer reach, and he has power in his hands. He's the 14th ranked middleweight in the world. And we were sparring, and I caught one kick, I caught another kick, I caught 2 kicks, something I was drilling and worked on. I flew my striking coach from England to Brazil to work for a week straight. We did like 10 sessions working fight-specific stuff to absolutely maul Jeff Neal. And I utilized those stuff on Chris. And Chris was so game, and he was coming at me with absolute heat. And I just landed one kick that was perfect. And I was so upset because I don't want to see that guy like hurt. I don't want to see my training partners injured because they're trying to help me. So yeah, I've been talking to him. He said it is pretty bad. And I'm obviously upset about that, but injuries happen in every gym. It's a part, as you say, it's a part of fighting. And I don't ever wish for someone to be injured. I don't ever want any of my training partners to be injured, but we do meet up and fight in the gym. We do meet up and punch and kick each other, knee each other, and help each other in the face. It's bound to happen. And yeah, I just hope the guy doesn't lose out in any fights because of it.
Official prediction for Saturday.
Stoppage, second round. I haven't decided how. But I can tell you how the fight's going to go. Magny took the fight in short notice, so he's going to have to go in and lean on wrestling and lean on clinch and getting me up against the cage. Something that he's done to everyone. Look at his last fight against Phil Rowe. He did exactly that. I believe he's going to have to lean in on that clinch work because there's no possible physical way that he can deal with the speed and the technique and the skill set that I have on the feet. It's going to be my job to stop him getting success and having that clinch work come to fruition. So it's going to be a very patient, clinical performance from me. And eventually he's going to be desperate. Eventually he's going to find weaknesses in his game that he has to lean in and reach. He's going to have to start to be sloppy because he's not going to have success. And I believe that will be the second round. I believe in the first round, I piece him up, have him getting desperate. Second round, his coach come out and go, you got to change this up. And then I crack him with a flurry of shots. He either goes down or he shoots and I choke him.
Can't wait for it. Can't wait for that. Can't wait for the call out. Can't wait for your week. I feel like you'll be making a lot of noise this week in Boston.
I will be.
I look forward to that.
We're doing it differently. We're being disruptive. We're bringing a team. I told you this. The social media aspect. We spoke about it in the last fight afterwards. How it took an absolute leap, and again, it's taken another leap. And I want people like yourself. I want fans. I want people who understand the sport to see what goes on behind the scenes. Be excited about it. Give insight about my life, and really get people understanding that this is such a cool adventure I'm on. To go from a kid who joined the sport, being a fan of one of the best to ever do it, to now being in the sport, being ranked in the top 15, earning my top 10 spot, fighting the best of the best of the best, the insight, the knowledge, the joy, everything. I'm excited for it. And I think it's exciting to give the fans that insight, that outlook, and the possibilities of what is going to happen is insane. And I've just noticed you've got a slitter in front of you.
A what?
A slitter.
A slitter? What does that mean?
Right in front of you, beside that yellow bus. That's called a slitter. You know what that is?
Yes. I actually got this when I was at the Katie Taylor fight in Dublin. A fan. This is called a slitter? Oh,
a slitter. That is used in the game of hurling. Have you ever seen hurling?
I've seen some clips, but a fan came up to me when I was at the Black Forge Inn with Eddie Hearn and gifted me this, and I thought it was such a nice gift that I put it on my my little desk here.
So that is one of my favorite items ever. That is a slitter. We use it in hurling. That is the fastest game on grass there, and that is something that I played my entire life growing up.
There you go.
It brings back a lot of memories. I must get you a hurl when I meet you next and show you what it's like, because that thing getting fired at you is not fun to catch.
I can imagine. I would imagine an Ian Garry punch or kick, not fun to catch as well. I look forward to your week. I look forward to what you do on Saturday, the call it as well. Great stuff, Ian. Keep it up. Thanks as always for the time.
I appreciate you always. It's always a pleasure to be here and be on your platform. As I've said before, you are the best.
Thank you, Ian. Appreciate it very much. There he is.
So much.
Ian Machado Garry fighting on Saturday, UFC 292 in Boston. Big fight for him, big opportunity for him. All right, let's go to our next guest. Yes, he was in fact there with me when I got this slitter. I didn't know it was called that. I'm a little bit embarrassed, but he had a very busy week and a very busy Saturday night at the O2. His guy, Anthony Joshua, gets the big win, and now we hope and pray that he gets Deontay Wilder next. Always a pleasure to catch up with the chairman of Matchroom Boxing. He is the one and only Eddie Hearn. Here he is, just after a workout, Eddie.
Do you know what? I did run today, It was hard. Nothing in the tank after last week.
Yeah.
Disappointing run, but we got it done.
Okay, well done, as always. By the way, did you know that this was called a slitter, as Ian said?
Absolutely not at all. You learn something new every day.
There it is.
What a character.
Amazing. He's a great young fighter from Ireland as well. I'm going to ask you about one of your Irish fighters in a moment, but could I ask you this, Eddie, off the top? I was talking to my producer in the back before the show, and I say that the worst text that I can get, other than health stuff, of course, family stuff, about my job, is when I wake up on a Monday or a Wednesday to a text like, hey, I can't come on the show. I have to cancel. What is the text like when you get Dillian White is out. Where are you when you get that text? And what is the feeling inside when you find out that Dillian White can't fight?
Sadly, you become numb to it, in all honesty. Like, I remember when Jarrell Miller failed his drug test and we sold out Madison Square Garden, I felt like I was going to pass out. It was like I had to go into a room. I sat down. I was like trying to get my mind straight, thinking about what to do. But then you have Jarrell Miller. You have, other episodes. You have the the Conor Ben saga for the last year. And then you get that news and it's just like, I think I was about to go for dinner and I just looked up and I just said, "You're not doing this to me again, are you?" But then it's like, what are you going to do? It's just, that's why we are what we are. That's why we're so good at what we do. The first thought goes to Anthony Joshua. What does he want to do? He's done 12 weeks in Dallas with Derek James. Does he want to fight? Is he going to want to fight? And when he woke up in the morning, the first thing he said was, "Find me someone to fight." And as soon as he said that, we were in game mode. We were ready to go out, make a deal. Obviously, from then, you've got 30 people hitting you up to try and get the fight. They want 5 million, 10 million. They want this, they want that. And you have to act quickly. You have to act with people that you know and won't let you down, people that are prepared to get on the plane. That was Robert Helenius. And, a lot changed. AJ showed me a lot about his mentality last week. Obviously, the money was very different. The fight was taken off pay-per-view. But he just showed me that he's a hungry fighter who has worked tirelessly in camp and wanted to get the opportunity to perform. So Helenius it was, big guy, very respectable. And after a little bit of a slow start, because I think that's the narrative now around AJ, one of the knockouts of the year. So all in all, job done.
By the way, where are you right now, Eddie? The echo is unbelievable. Are you like in a tin box? What's going on over there?
No, I'm just in a room, but there's not a lot of furniture in here.
Is it?
So that's probably why.
It's I just know that you love good sounding audio. You may not be happy with this. I just want to let you know it's.
Do you want me to dial back in?
Well, it is a little echo. It sounds like you're in a tin room.
Okay, let me get my pods. I'll call you straight back.
All right, he's gonna call us right back. I just want to hear everything that he's saying in a nice and clear way. Was that mean of me?
No, I think that was the.
Was it the right
word.
call?
Yeah.
Sometimes I feel like you should weigh in my ear, like, "Hey, Ariel, do you want to tell him what do you
While
think?"
he's trying to talk to you, all echoed out like that.
Hey, Ariel, the audio isn't great. Yeah, thanks. I mean, maybe he was in like some sort of.
Well, then on like a storage container, I was.
It was
concerned.
exceptionally off, right? I mean, even Ian's was a little bit echoey, but.
Okay, now you saw the room he was in.
Who, Ian?
Yeah.
You think that's me being a
Definitely.
stickler?
It was like tall ceiling, no furniture. Come on.
No, there was furniture right behind him.
Your idea of furniture and my dinner furniture are not the same.
Okay, fine. But you think because there's always like an internal dialogue that I have where I'm like, should I mention it? Should I not?
We try to capture it. Capture it?
Mhm.
I'm done.
What is that? You can't just stop talking.
Oh, when I make a typo like that, I think I'm done.
You just got to fight through it, man.
We try to catch that
before
they go on.
Yes, you didn't notice?
No.
All right. You were listening to Ian Garry, who's a great.
Exactly.
Did you know that this was called I don't even remember.
It says it right on the ball.
Oh, yeah, it does say it. A schlant? What is it called?
A schlunt.
A
Schlitter.
Schlitter. You knew that?
Yeah, of course.
Get out of here.
Big hurling guy.
I don't even know what hurling is. Like baseball or something? It's like field hockey?
Combination of both.
Something
Classic
like-
Irish sport.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. I know about GAA. You know about GAA?
Yeah, of course.
Gaelic football, I think.
No F in there.
Gaelic Athletic Association. Anyway, we'll reconnect with Eddie. Has he called back or not yet?
And what'd you do to our guest?
He's gone. He's like, fuck this guy. I'm out of here.
We're reaching out
You're efforting?
strongly. 1 second.
By the way, what about Ian Garry's energy? Holy smokes.
How about the no top on the water bottle? Bold move here.
Yeah.
Wide lid.
Well, now it was like, I put it down over here. But Ian Garry, this guy, I mean, he's just so excited.
Yeah.
I wish I loved life that much.
Me too.
Everything. He's just so excited to share with you.
Yeah.
Even talking about busting Chris Curtis's ribs, he's excited to share that story.
Yeah.
I wonder who he's going to call out. How about him saying
Yeah,
he's
he's
carrying
back.
the card? Oh, okay, he is
Yeah.
back. Let's see how it sounds. Oh, there he is. Same room.
Same room. I've got the headphones on, but I'm in an echoey office, so I don't know.
No,
but
it's
I can
fine.
hear you okay, hopefully.
Okay, yeah. It's all good. Thank you, Eddie, for doing that. I appreciate it. Can I ask, was anyone else close to getting that fight? Like Ruiz, was there anyone closer, or was it always Robert once the dust
Yeah,
kind
it
of settled?
was really Ajit Caballero was a guy who we'd previously negotiated with, but we had to work fast, 24, 48 hours, and whoever was prepared to come out and obviously, sign the deal, get on the plane the next day, that was key.
Did you consider canceling the card?
It was really on him. He had to take a lot less money for that fight. So all of a sudden, it was like, what do you want to do? Do you want to fight? And because of the Deontay Wilder fight in January, it was really important to him to fight because he didn't want to wait till November, December. Then that delays the Wilder fight. So he's been feeling great in camp and he wanted to get out there.
Okay. When you're sitting there and your guy's out there and this is a big fight, I had said, and who the hell am I, considering how Wilder beat Helenius and how quick and dominant it was, it would be nice to see AJ do it in maybe sub 4 rounds. Once you start to hear the boos third and fourth, what are you feeling?
Do you know what? Not even third and fourth, second and third. Amazing, really. Like there's a narrative that AJ is just not as aggressive as he was before, and people jump on that, especially when they've had about 10 pints. So I thought that came quickly, but when you've changed styles, you've been working on a guy for 6 weeks, all of a sudden you've got like this 6'8", different style with a long jab and a good jab. Like you're going to take time to break him down. You've got potentially the Wilder fight at the end of it. You're just not going to take chances. And he broke him down. He took his time and he delivered one of the knockouts of the year. So all in all, we were happy.
Were you getting nervous at all at any point? No? Did I lose you?
Sorry.
Oh. Do you hear me?
You got me, Aaron?
Yeah, I got you. I hear you. Do you hear me? Yes?
Yes.
Okay. Were you getting nervous at all at any point?
Yeah, for sure. Because obviously I knew he'd be getting frustrated. All of a sudden the crowd were booing and like it was just a situation where I didn't want him to get frustrated and make a mistake, stay calm. And I think that's what he did. If you look at his footwork in the fight, it's improving so much. And he's going to have to be the complete fighter to beat Deontay Wilder. And we like what we saw.
How do you describe who Anthony Joshua is at this point? Because like even in the post-fight interview with Ade, it's like he's like, I don't really want to talk. I just want to go to the back. There feels like there's some sort of distance that he's trying to create between him and the public. And I can understand after his Usyk fight last summer, around almost exactly a year ago, I remember doing an interview saying like, I feel like he is kind of mistreated by the British public, that they treat him a lot harder and are a lot tougher on him than, say, Tyson Fury, and they scrutinize every little thing that he does, and he just kind of broke in that moment in Saudi Arabia. And so now my impression is, correct me if you feel otherwise, he's just like, I just don't want to deal with any of this. Like, I'll do the bare minimum, I'll talk to, X amount of people, but like, I'm done giving you guys things to latch onto and criticize me. Is that where he's at right now in his career? And if so, why?
Honestly, you hit the nail on the head. He's tired of trying to say the right thing, get criticized. He just wants to fight. He's not interested in the media. He's not interested in talking up the fight. He wants to do his work, get in there and win. And I think he's realized over the years he can't win outside of the ring. If he doesn't say too much, he's boring. If he says something controversial, wow, AJ's lost his mind. It's like, so I think that he was frustrated with the booing, I think, and I think when he delivered the knockout, that's why you got the celebration.
Yeah.
He jumped out the ring to see his family, bumped into Conor McGregor, had some Irish stout. That was a bit of a strange one, but, all in all, it was interesting pictures.
What was your experience like with Conor ringside as opposed to the one in May?
He was calmer than Dublin.
Oh, really?
Yeah, just slightly.
He pulled up in a minivan with like 10 girls, and I think his boxing coach was there.
He comes with his own security.
Yeah.
So they're all coming, ringside, front row, and our security is checking people. And then it's like, there was a little bit of madness, but all in all, look, he brings massive eyeballs to the event. So the broadcaster's happy. When he arrived, he's like come on, let's get in the ring. I'm like, what? And Gerald Washington was about to ring walk. He was standing on the stage. And I was like, the next thing he's in there, he's, shadow boxing, hitting the canvas. I'm like, what? But what a character.
Is this like a series of one-offs with him? Because he speaks very highly of you.
So there was a new deal for the AJ fight and the Cameron Taylor rematch coming up.
Okay.
So we'll see him again in Dublin, and hopefully you'll be there, Eric.
Yes. I want to ask you some more about all of that, but going back to AJ, had he won a decision, would the Wilder fight still be in play? Did he have to stop Helenius to make that fight as big as it is?
I think it would have still been in play, but maybe not with the same value. I mean, we all know you can talk about the fight how you wish, but that knockout clip will be played everywhere, and virally, probably two of the knockouts of the year from the last year have been Deontay Wilder on Helenius and AJ on Helenius. You're talking about the two biggest punchers in the division, the two fastest hands in the division. That fight is one of the greatest fights of our generation, and it's one you watch like this through your eyes.
Mm-hmm.
They both have tremendous power. They both have tremendous speed. The fight could go either way, but when you deliver a knockout like that, it just adds to the anticipation of the fight. And Saudi representatives are in London this week. They're going to be here in the office joining us to try and get that fight made.
I heard that you were asked after the fight, could anything happen? I think it was from IFL. You did like 48 interviews with them over the past week. It's unbelievable. Like, what could they possibly have to ask you 12 hours later? I don't understand. But anyway, it's great content. What could stop the fight from being made? And you said Saudi. And so then what I was thinking was, why does it have to depend on Saudi? Like, if Saudi, for whatever reason, falls through, why can't it happen at the O2?
Good point. I mean, it doesn't, but the levels financially that we're looking at, obviously it's a premium in Saudi. And this fight can get made in Vegas. This fight can get made at Wembley. But, the money that's in play makes the fight happen immediately. And, another reason why I'm confident this fight happens is because it's Saudi and Skills Challenge negotiating individually with each party to get it done. So it's not me trying to make the fight with Deontay Wilder on the zone or whatever. It's Saudi making the individual offers to both parties. So no ego, no politics, no history. Just you do your deal, we'll do our deal. We'll see you there.
And do you have a date already?
Middle of January. They're looking at middle to end of January. And originally it was planned for December. And, Deontay Wilder's talking about fighting in October. We hope that's not the case because we don't really want to wait. We want to make sure we get this fight done. If he has a routine win, understandable. But, we're coming up to September now.
Right. So how real is that? I heard you say that as well yesterday, I believe. How real is his desire? I know you don't rep him and work with him, but like if he fights in October, would that mean this happens later, or is he trying to do October and January?
He'd be up for doing October and January, is what we've been told. But, that's okay if you're in it starts to get, you start bringing in injuries and niggles and cuts and that kind of stuff. So, for us, Saudi were never over the moon that we were fighting on August 12th. So now we've got that out of the way. Talks kind of stopped a couple of weeks ago because they just wanted us to get August 12th out of the way. So now that's out of the way, and we'll see them tomorrow and Wednesday and continue those and hopefully get it all wrapped up.
And Dillian Whyte feels like he's like way in the rearview mirror, but what becomes of Dillian Whyte at this point from your perspective?
I think the problem is in the sport of boxing, there's no clear disciplinary procedure, especially when you're talking about BARDA testing. I mean, we, through the instructions of Dillian Whyte and Anthony Joshua, employed an additional layer of testing through BARDA for that fight. So there's an adverse finding on Dillian Whyte's test. But what happens next? He's not licensed by the British Boxing Board of Control. He's licensed by the Portuguese Boxing Federation. Are they going to play this process out and investigate it? I sometimes wish that VADA did handle disciplinary procedures, but they're just a testing reporting company. They make that very clear on their statements as well. It's like no one wants to actually deal with the matter once there's an adverse finding. So, and also Dillian White can't really fight because I think the public, as we've seen with the Conor Benn situation, require you and want you to go through a specific procedure. But what is that procedure? Dillian White will want to try and clear his name, and he'll have to find a way, a commission, a governing body to run that investigation and try to prove his innocence. But it's made me think a lot, and I know you guys do, obviously, the USADA pool. And I started to think about maybe introducing contractual testing above and beyond individual events. So if you're a matchroom boxing fighter, you sign up to random testing, but we still have the same issue. If you say you're a matchroom boxing fighter and it's in your contract, and you fail a random VADA matchroom test, what happens next? We report that to the commission, and they deal with it. But do they deal with it? Do they want to deal with it? It's like everyone talks about improving the quality of testing, but no one seems to be grabbing the disciplinary process by the horns. And there certainly isn't a clear process in terms of the punishment. 3 years, 6 months, 5 years. I mean, no one really knows. We really want to make sure that disciplinary process is improved. But at the same time, it needs to be clearer.
So that all said, did you learn any lessons from the Conor Benn situation that you implemented in this one? And if so, what?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the two were very different. Substances were different, levels were different, everything's different. One was 7 weeks out, one was 1 week out. Also, on the other hand, one was a co-promotion, and our co-promoter who spoke to the opposing fighter wanted to look into the medical side of this, was happy for the fight to proceed. We leaned on the commission for an answer. They never gave us an answer within 6 weeks, and we got in a mess. We made mistakes, and this was 1 week out. It was a sole promotion. AJ's team looked at the results and said, no, we terminate the agreement, we get another opponent. So people keep looking at the similarities, and I guess there are some, but we hold our hands up 100%. We learned a lot from last time, but there still needs to be an established route in terms of the disciplinary procedure. Because the good news is someone that had a performance-enhancing substance in his body did not make his way into the ring. Mm-hmm. And that's fantastic. But what happens now? You have to give the fighter the right to clear his name. And you have to play out a ban process or a punishment of some kind, because it's the only way it's going to deter fighters. So that's still cloudy, but we need to keep improving the levels of testing.
By the way, speaking of Conor Benn, will he fight in 2023?
Yeah, that's the plan. I mean, he's done everything that's been asked of him. He went through the WBC process. He's now been through the UCAD and the board process. They have an opportunity to appeal. They may appeal. It would be bizarre, but it's kind of like the way this has all progressed with egos and a lot of politics. But it's been a year and a half since he boxed, and over a year since the test, and it's a frustrating process. And he's gone through all the processes that have been asked of him, and we hope that 100% he can get back in the ring in 2023. It's
great theater, and if you ask me, it was a 10-7 round for Eddie Hearn. But all the stuff, like the stuff that you do with Simon Jordan and Talksport and all, does it get tiresome at any point? Like, you're still, the amount of times that I've heard you two talk about Conor Benn, I'm a little bit tired. Like, can we talk about something else?
But it's been like over a year of talking about Conor Benn. It's like they keep going back, and we hold our hands up. We never said we were perfect in this situation. But it's like, yeah, what about what you did? It's like, guys, we've had this conversation, we've had this debate. You tell us now that we acted, you were much happier with the way that we acted in the Dillian White situation. Good, we learn from it and we move on. But, there's a lot of interesting narratives that get spun over here, We've been fighting it a long time. It's probably my fault because I'm quite outspoken, but, it's a big show, that is. And, there's a lot of people that watch that. So last week I was buzzing because I had a little bit of positivity from UK fight fans for the first time in a long time. Don't worry, it'll all go out the window this week, but it was enjoyable while it lasted.
The disc jockey line was a good one. I like that one. That was a solid one. It was a good zinger. I mean, not quite disc jockey, but I liked it. I mean, I don't like when he gets personal with all that stuff, but it's great theater. You got Gareth sitting over there. He doesn't know how to chime in, when to chime in. It's wonderful to watch all of it. By the way, back to Conor McGregor. Were you surprised he called out KSI of all people in your ring after the fight?
for a bare knuckle. I mean, it was great. You know, it was just wild. Like you got KSI sitting there, Connor. You know, I don't know what he's going to do. I mean, you know, he keeps saying he's fighting in December. Is that even possible? I don't know, but
Yes, I don't know either. But I wasn't expecting a KSI bare knuckle call out on the broadcast seconds after.
no.
He gave you he gave the broadcast more stuff than AJ did. He gave like more to
That's why we knew AJ weren't really up for an interview, so we drafted in Connor.
I mean, not a bad replacement. By the way, your level of interest, KSI, Tommy Fury?
Yeah, good. That's a great card. I mean, if Dillian Dennis turns up, I mean, it's going to be a huge event. And I'll take my hat off to KSI. I mean, he's getting better. And Tommy Fury, who's kind of squeaked past Jake Paul, should be better this time around. You know, on paper, Tommy Fury should win the fight, but KSI, fair play to him. You know, he's full of confidence. He's been working hard, and I'm gonna tune in for sure. It'll be a big event here in the UK.
I have said that KSI Jake Paul is the biggest fight that could be made in the UK, could sell out Wembley Stadium. Is that a crazy statement?
It's correct.
Why?
It's correct.
Oh, it is correct. Oh, I thought you said it's correct. That's a crazy statement. No, you agree?
No, it's correct. It would.
Okay.
You're right.
Wow, really?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to sell out, especially with Logan. I mean, this Logan Paul is unbelievable. Did you see him in the WWE the other night?
Yeah, he's crazy. He's crazy.
I mean, listen, I haven't watched WWE since, I'm showing my age. Ultimate Warrior, Hacksaw Jim Duggan, the Bushwhackers,
Yes.
Jake the Snake, Hulk. I mean, that's my era. But I'm watching him going, I don't remember an athlete like that when I used to watch WWE. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. I mean, whatever you think, I like Logan a lot more than I like Jake. But whatever you think about the Paul brothers, they are smart and they are talented, you know, and especially Logan. And if he fights on that card against Dylan Dennis with KSI against Tommy Fury, that's a huge show.
I know you had a busy week, but do you see their back and forth on Logan's show, and do you think they're setting up a fight between them?
Between
Jake and Logan. Did you see the clip? It was crazy. It was very.
I've seen the clip, but nothing would surprise me, Ariel.
Yeah.
Nothing. What do you think about brothers fighting?
It's not great, but like if you watch the clip, you're like, this seems inevitable. Logan's saying, I'm sick of people picking you because you're the easier fight. Then they talked about the Floyd fight, and Jake said that he actually thought he lost. Logan felt very offended that he was saying this for the first time. They were talking about the drinks on the broadcast, the zone, people getting like their managers getting involved. Like it was a lot of behind the scenes drama. I couldn't believe they were saying all this stuff.
I don't know. I mean, look, it would be massive. And these guys are mad on numbers. They're almost narcissistical when it comes to the desire for numbers. So that's the kind of thing that they would do and kind of shake hands before. And, you know, if they can shake hands after and make themselves 10 or 15, 20 million in the process each, I guess these guys are the type of people to do it.
Would you like to apologize to Nate Diaz? You weren't very high on his chances.
Oh, I mean, Ariel, it was awful. Like, I mean, don't get me wrong. The event was unbelievable. You've done a great job, like, brilliant. But when you're talking about, I mean, look, you know mixed martial arts like the back of your hand. I know boxing like the back of my hand. I'm watching that and thinking, this is so bad. And the reason that Nate didn't get stopped is because Jake was, he didn't have the ability, like, he just doesn't know how to break a fighter down, cut off the ring, beat him up and stop him. But I give my props to Nate, super tough. But you're talking about low level in terms of standard, like not even, we have something in the UK called an area title, which is like the specific radius of, it's kind of like a state title, call it that. These guys wouldn't win a state title. Like that's the level they're fighting at. But listen, props to Nate. He definitely didn't have ability, but what he had was plenty of grit. But Jake just didn't, he hasn't got the ability or the experience to break someone down and stop them. And I was convinced he would.
Is he getting better though?
Not really.
Is he regressing?
it's so difficult to say because of the level of opposition. Like, I thought he did okay against Tommy Fury, but then when he's fighting Nate, like Nate's, I know he's super tough and you love him, but he's so limited as a boxer. I can't even tell you, like, and yeah, I don't know. I still respect Jake. Like, he's putting the time in, he's sparring, he's doing rounds, and, you know, the event was unbelievable. The numbers were great. Like, so, and it's still, although it was a boxer against an MMA guy, it was still a fight. It didn't feel like a YouTube event. Yeah. We had real boxing on the undercard, Amanda Serrano, you know, this stuff. So I like the events, and I think he's doing a great job in that respect.
Just a couple more, and I'll let you go. Where do things stand with you and MVP? And there's a reason why I'm asking you this, but if you could first tell us that. You know, I know the lawsuit and all that. Is that all cleared up, or is it still pending?
It's ongoing, to be honest with you. It definitely hasn't been settled yet, so that continues. But, you know, hopefully we can find a resolution. You know, there doesn't seem to be a lot of remorse about what was said, and we take our business and our ethics and our, you know, long-standing heritage in the sport very, very seriously. So no resolution yet.
The reason I asked you that question is, other than any Katie Taylor fight, the fight as far as women's boxing is concerned that interests me the most right now, like a dream fight, if you will, is Amanda Serrano versus Alicia Baumgartner. She was there. She made her feelings known. I'm talking about Alicia at the fight in Dallas. Would this issue prevent that fight from being made? And how Amanda was a little bit hesitant, like, to really speak on the fight, but that to me is an all-time great fight. So I'm just curious if anything could prevent that, and how high you are on that fight.
We had the issue while we negotiated the rematch, and we got the rematch made. Amanda couldn't take the fight because of injury. I agree with you. I think Amanda Serrano against Alicia Baumgartner is an incredible fight. Undisputed featherweight champ against undisputed super featherweight champ. Obviously, in terms of the big fights, you've got Cameron Taylor November 25th, and Alicia wants Serrano. She wants the winner of that fight. She wants the loser of that fight. She's ready for all the big fights. But Amanda's been a great servant to the sport, and I think she's really only going to want the biggest paydays out. I think Amanda wants Katie Taylor win or lose November 25th, you know. But certainly that's going to be a huge night, and Alicia wants to enter that mix of mega fights.
A lot of people were saying that Francis Ngannou screwed up. Are you surprised he ended up with Tyson Fury in Saudi Arabia?
Why do they feel he screwed up?
Well, I mean, even with you, I think you were saying that, like, maybe he was asking for too much, or he was shooting for too big of a name. He was playing his cards a little bit, you know, the wrong way. I think a lot of people weren't expecting, come April, May, and he signed with PFL, people were like, maybe you're going to get maybe you'll get a Derek Chisora type, with all due respect, not Tyson Fury. He ended up with Tyson, the lineal heavyweight champ, on a massive stage with a lot of money attached. I mean, he kind of proved a lot of people wrong, would you not say?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you know, when I spoke to him, I actually thought maybe he should take a couple of easier fights and, like, build his credibility to that mega fight. But he made it quite clear he just wanted to go straight into the big fight. And I think the reason for that, in all honesty, and I said this to Nate Diaz, his manager, as well, you know, I said that he should do the same thing. But the problem is they're not very good. And if you do that, you get exposed as having no chance, right? So the mystery of, wow, can he punch hard? Well, and when you actually see the fight, you're going to realize very quickly, as we did with Floyd and Conor, they can't win. I mean, that was a lot more competitive than this is going to be. And yes, one punch knockout power and stuff like that, but it's boxing versus MMA. It's absolutely irrelevant, right? And he's done 100% the right thing. He's got the max as quickly as possible without anybody having to see it, right? Because he could go in a small fight for less money, and you could go, you actually can't put this guy in the ring with Tyson Blood. It's actually a huge mismatch. So the mystery of, is it a mismatch? You know, does he punch as hard as everyone says? Oh, he was once a boxer. Oh, makes you tune in. So I think he's played a blinder. Good luck to him. You know, what a lovely guy. Going to make a lot of money. Good luck to him.
Haney Prograis, is that going to happen?
I think so. You know, actually, he messaged me just before I came on here. Everyone's getting a little bit restless. Regis has signed, but we are also currently looking at dates and venues, trying to marry that up with a very busy schedule globally for big events. I mean, that's one of them. October 28th was one of our preferred dates. It's also Fury against Ngannou. I'm sure that'll be a pay-per-view on ESPN. But I'm very confident you see Devin Haney against Regis Prograis next, tying it up and hope to have it done this week.
Why isn't Lee Wood fighting at the City Ground?
Because unfortunately it was October and it's right in the middle of the football season. And the groundsman said, you are not coming on destroying my pitch after a couple of games into the season. So we have obviously Nottingham and Leeds. Sheffield is right in the middle, holds like 11,000. There's like 700 tickets left. It's going to be, we're splitting the venue down the middle. Leeds on one side, Nottingham on the other side. It's going to be absolutely wild in there. And I promised Lee Wood, the only way I can keep him if he wins this fight is by delivering in the City Ground next. He's desperate for it. And the timing would work well because it's kind of like 1 or 2 weeks where you get the chance to do it. And that's like May. So if he wins, he'll get City Ground. And if Josh Warrington wins, he'll probably get Ellen Road as well. But October was the sticking point. Okay.
And I want to give a shout out to head of content for Matchroom, Alex, great guy. He posted this promo for that fight. Oh my God, that was beautiful stuff. Really amazing. Anyone should go check it out.
Great work, Lindsay.
Yeah, he's amazing, and the whole team is amazing. Okay, finally, last one. You mentioned it, November 25th. Katie Taylor, Chantel Cameron 2. Did you try to convince Katie to do this fight at 135?
No, I mean, it's kind of like, it's very similar to the Canelo and Bivol situation. Katie said, the same terms as last time, because I'm not bringing her down in weight. And everyone's saying, oh, you couldn't beat her at 140. She's so stubborn. It's like, I need to beat her on exactly the same terms as last time. Chantel Cameron done an unbelievable job. And I think 140 suits Chantel better than 135 in all honesty. So, but she wanted a chance to become a double undisputed champion. So she was up for 135, but Katie just said, no, same as last time. But this time, Chantel's the A-side. It's Cameron against Taylor. She's arguably pound for pound number one now. It's a huge rematch. She's very confident. I think Katie's a big underdog in the fight, but very stubborn and desperate for revenge.
I'm not worried, just a little anxious. I was hoping 135. That's what I was pulling for, just to get it back in her favor. That's all. It makes me nervous. She
wouldn't do it. She
wouldn't do it. Cameron's incredible. Much love and respect to her.
Fantastic fighting. Sometimes I spoke to her the other day. She just kind of always feels that obviously Katie's my number one, which we've got a great relationship with her. But honestly, I've said to her, you've done amazing. She's beat everybody. She may be unbeatable, Chantel Cameron. I'm talking about Serrano, Baumgardner, Ryan. I'm not sure she can get beat, but she's back into Dublin. Big favourite going into the fight, and we can't wait.
Pleasure as always, Eddie. Congrats on a big week. You guys saved the show. Very reminiscent of MMA. We see this a lot in MMA. Last minute, this guy flies in, and the show gets saved, and all the fighters get saved.
Someone said to me, what about having the new opponent, as a mystery opponent on the night?
The music plays. That would be great. That'd be right out of Misfits.
I'm just thinking, no, maybe.
This Brandon Scott fellow, when he had that little, and then you said something.
Baddest on the planet is his new nickname.
That is he did that whole thing, and then you said something like, all right, Brandon, thank you for that, and just moved on. It was great comedic.
But he got a lot of stick, Ariel. He got a lot of stick, and he didn't take it very well. He's like, I said, listen, if you're going to turn up in a press conference dressed as Spider-Man, expect criticism.
Right.
But I promise you, everyone that saw you at the press conference will remember your name.
For sure. No,
Brandon Scott also, man, they'll remember your name.
He was getting hate for that? I thought it was funny. Why not?
Yeah, a lot. It's Twitter,
X, actually. It's X now.
X.
Appreciate the time as always, and good luck this weekend. You have another big show this weekend, and then
thank you. I'll get some more furniture in the office next time.
Yeah, if you could just populate just for the acoustics, it would be nice. Thank you, Eddie, as always. Appreciate it. There he is, Eddie Hearn of Matchroom Sport. We checked off a lot on that list. A lot going on in his world, as always. Always great to catch up with him, and some big fights coming up. Haney Prograis would be huge. Him teaming up with Haney again. And yeah, the Taylor Cameron fight. Thanksgiving weekend, back at the 3 Arena. A little bit nervous. Who is the favorite in that fight? Is that out yet? Let's see here on my favorite website. I wonder if Katie's... I mean, she's been the underdog before. No doubt about it.
the favorite.
Big time?
Not really. Like minus 160.
Oh. Actually, I'm a little bit surprised. I thought she'd be a bigger favorite.
Yeah. The success that she had last time out.
Devin Haney minus 450 against Regis Prograis. Oh, they also, they announced the Bam Rodriguez, Sonny Edwards fight. I retweeted that. The funniest thing was I retweeted that. I was like, oh, what a fight. They announced that over the weekend. And someone's like, get off. The best is when it comes to boxing. I'm on the DAZN payroll, the Showtime payroll. I'm on the Matchroom payroll, the MVP payroll. I've even gone on the Misfits payroll now, which would be an incredible feat to be on both payrolls at the same time. And like I said, who did I say to last week? Who did I say to someone? When you're accused of being on everyone's payroll on everyone's side, who did I say? I said it to someone. That means you're actually unbiased. I don't even remember. I can't even tell you right now off the top of my head who was on the show last week. Does anyone remember? Like Wednesday show. I have no recollection of Wednesday show. I can't name one guest from Wednesday. That's how my mind has just turned into mush. Can you guys name one guest from Wednesday?
Sean O'Malley.
Sean O'Malley. There it is.
Chris Cyborg.
Oh, that's right. Bellator
Suarez.
300. Bellator 300. Yes, of
Fedor.
course. Yes.
Yeah, that's the 4.
Oh, yeah, Fedor. That was a big one. Mike Tyson fight. I need to work on that. I actually made some inroads. I reached out. A little bit of reaching out here and there. All right, well, that's exciting. A lot going on in the world of boxing, a lot going on in the world of MMA. Like we said, PFL this weekend, KSW this weekend as well. They've got some fights. Actually, I noticed a new thing on Tapology, by the way. Oh, they don't have it right now. On Saturday, I went on Tapology, and they had all the fights going on with the link to watch the fight. Did you guys see that? Anyone see that? I liked it. It was a new little wrinkle. No. Major. Oh, Contender Series tomorrow. George Hadwick fighting. He's one of the bigger names. Fighting in the main event. Number 1 lightweight, according to Tapology in the UK and Ireland. Cage Warriors champion, getting an opportunity. Kind of feel like the Cage Warriors champion should get a shot right into the UFC now. Being the likes of Kyle Driscoll and Chris Bungard. So that's tomorrow. One thing when you go major org and then you click on the actual event and then you go back, it doesn't ever take you back to major org. That's one thing I don't like. One on Friday. And then PFL on Friday, LFA, KSW, 2 title fights, and then 292. By the way, did you guys notice when I said International Fight Week to Ian Garry and I said 290 and then he corrected me 291? Anyone catch that?
I did.
I was right.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, 290 was International Fight Week. But did he do it in Salt Lake City or International Fight Week?
I'm pretty sure he wasn't turning up in Salt Lake City. He was in freaking, you remember? He was in Brazil, offering to fly in to fight Wonder Boy.
Oh, true. Yeah. 290, yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, speaking of 292, the place to be for all your UFC 292 action is DraftKings Sportsbook. Yes, that is the spot. As you all know, a bantamweight belt for the belt. Excuse me, what did I just say? Can we start that over, Frank? As you all know, UFC 292 is this weekend in Boston, in Beantown. I hear they don't like it when you call it Beantown. And for that, I will say, in Beantown again. It's Aljamain Sterling going up against Sean O'Malley for the undisputed gold at 135 pounds. What about Zhang Weili flying under the radar, defending her strawweight title? One of the most exciting fighters on the roster against Amanda Lemos. The return of Ian Garry against Neil Magny. Chris Weidman finally coming back. This story needs all the love in the world. What a great story that is. Can't wait for that. Chito Vera looking to get back on track. So much to like. The place to be, DraftKings Sportsbook. the official sports betting partner of the UFC. New customers can bet just $5 to get $150 in bonus bets instantly. Right now, Aljamain Sterling, he is a what favorite? Minus
260.
260. Wow.
In that range.
Chris Weidman plus 220. I'm seeing right now.
Yeah, big time.
Wow. Andre Petrosky,
Aljamain Sterling minus 258.
Ian Gary minus 175.
No, Ian Gary minus 440.
Oh, all right. See, that's why you're here. Anyway. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Use the code TheMMAHour. New customers can bet just $5 on UFC 292 to get $150 in bonus bets instantly. That's this Saturday only on DraftKings Sportsbook with the code TheMMAHour. If you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877. That's 8-HOPE-NY. Or text HOPE-NY. That's 467-369. In West Virginia, visit www.1800gambler.net in partnership with Hollywood Casino at Charlestown Races. All games regulated by the West Virginia Lottery. Please play responsibly. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. 888. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org on behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resorts in Kansas. 21 and older in most eligible states, but age varies by jurisdiction. See, the problem is there's so much to read here. I try to read fast, but then I just screw it up. So I might as well just read it slow. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details and state-specific responsible gambling resources. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. Eligibility and deposit restrictions apply. Terms at sportsbook.draftkings.com/MMA terms. All right. Please support them because they support us. What do we got, guys? What do we got? How was your weekend?
Mine was great, man. How was yours?
Oh, it was fantastic. What did we do? Watched a lot of soccer.
A lot of soccer.
Went to the pool.
Wow.
Yeah.
Neighborhood pool?
Local pool? Yeah, twice.
Neighborhood pool, nice.
That was fun. Went in the pool. You know, I kind of live by many credos, but one of them is only one swim a summer. Just one.
All right.
Why is this a rule?
I'm now at 2.
Why?
Whoa.
Why is that? Why would that be a rule?
There's only one reason and one reason only. My
Okay.
sweet daughter. She just she insists. And yesterday she just would not
No.
stop.
That's the reason
why
you
it's
did it.
two.
Yeah.
Asking why is one the
Oh,
Well, his daughter told him only once a year.
I don't know. I honestly I just don't like the way it feels. I
All
don't
right.
I don't first of all, I'm a germaphobe. So when I walk into a neighborhood pool, like if I had a pool in my backyard, maybe it'd be a little bit different, but I see this bath filled with 100
Understandable.
people. I don't know what they're doing. I don't know who's wiping their bum and who's not. I don't know who's
Sure.
washing their hands and who's not. I don't know who's
Get it.
farting in there and there's like snot coming out of their nose and they're spitting in the pool. I want nothing to do with any of this.
Sign me up.
But my question is, why not 0 then? Why?
For the kids. Honestly.
Okay.
There was once a time where it was 0.
Wow.
But they always ask. I say,
You know
I'll do
what?
it once.
Before the kids?
It's a good answer, and I respect it. You're,
So
you're
were you-
sacrificing one.
so
thing. Now
like-
you even went 2.
Were you
3-4
cringing?
weeks ago, she was like, please, please, please. I was like, all right, this is the one time. Yesterday, please, please, please. I was like, all right, we're going twice.
Do you play the games or you just float there with it?
Nah, I'm not.
Think about
listen,
all this stuff.
if I'm going strong, I'm going strong. I'm
All right.
cannonballing.
Yeah,
I'm doing
yeah,
backflips. We're playing
Has-
tag.
Wow.
Nice.
You know,
Has the future threshold
Oh,
been
Marco
raised to 2
Polo.
now, or is
No.
that just a one time? This year only.
there might be a vacation in our future, and for that, I might have to up it to 5 or 6.
So what is this? Is that a rule?
I've never.
Rules are meant to be broken.
I can't remember the last time I went into a pool more than once.
Were you cringing when we were all in the pool at the W?
But we
Well,
were
the
talking about that.
the W pool was a weird thing because like it like, I don't know what the actual temperature of the water was, but it felt like it was like 95, right?
Pretty warm. It was pretty warm.
Which almost makes me feel like it's worse if it's warm.
No, but I think it was getting overrated how hot it was. It was still colder than it was.
That-
outside.
By the way, that was a great night. That was one of my
Great night.
favorite nights of our trip,
Yeah, great night.
which feels like it happened like 2 months ago at this point.
Yeah.
No, but it's just not my thing. I don't know. I've never ever liked pools. I was
I
never a
love
really
pools.
great swimmer. If I'm being honest.
Ocean over pools
No.
or no?
Fucking ocean.
Wow.
Lakes,
All right.
Wow.
rivers.
No,
Saw
that's
the Meg too. A little bit timid on the ocean.
Oh yeah, how was it?
It was good.
Yeah.
Actually, no. Let me take that back. It wasn't good. It was entertaining though.
Better than Jaws?
Yes, easy.
Are you
Not even
serious?
close. Yeah. The Meg series clears Jaws, no question about it.
The Meg
You're
is
kidding.
standing on the shoulder of Jaws.
Isn't Jaws
Frank,
like one
You
of the
haven't
greatest?
seen it.
I don't need
First
to.
of all, so, yeah, exactly. That's what someone would say. Yeah. Jaws is the greatest movie of all time. Go watch Jaws from 1970, whatever, blurry, whatever it is. Then go watch The Meg and tell me which one is better. Jason
Consider it done.
Statham. I mean, the CGI is unbelievable. So, like, honestly, if you put them side by side, if The Meg had come out in the 70s, people would have been like, "This is the greatest movie of all time."
I don't know if I've
Jaws came out now, people would be like, "What is this?"
I don't know if I've seen a full Jaws movie.
No need to. You can just watch The Meg.
The first one's really good.
Is it a comedy, Meg?
I mean, it's
There's
comical.
definitely tongue-in-cheek.
comedic
Yeah.
aspects too.
It's sort of
yeah.
like Scream, right?
No.
No.
I would say Scream is a serious movie with like dark
Scream
humor.
is
but, like,
a.
They do
a
get
knee
some
slapper.
shout outs to Jaws. And
Scream is not a serious movie. It's like a satire.
You're thinking of Scary Movie.
No.
Scream is a pretty like
There is some
potatoes
satire.
horror movie.
No,
yeah, a lot of murders.
in
In
Scream.
the first scene alone.
Yeah. Yeah, it's about a murderer.
No, I know, but
There's
isn't-
definitely humorous elements,
there's-
no doubt.
That's why I feel like
but it's there's different categories for sure.
We're gonna need a bigger boat.
is this more like Scream? If you know what I did last summer while drinking juice in the hood. Remember that one?
It's not quite that of much of a parody.
Do you remember that?
God, those parodies back in
Those
the
are
day.
crazy. Where they just mashed all the names together.
Yeah.
Those
What
were the
about
Wayans Bros.
Sharknado?
No,
Well,
Sharknado.
that's the Wayans Brothers movie. I think Keenan directed it. Don't be a menace to South Central while drinking your juice in the hood was one specific like parody. Then there was like the Scary Movie.
Yes.
Not
Oh,
another
yeah.
teen movie.
I used to
They got
think
into
the Scary
it.
Movie were
Oh.
the funniest movies on earth.
Okay, you know what? Mea culpa. I was talking about Scary Movie.
That's what Frank said.
Yeah.
Scary movies.
I was talking about Scary Movie. That's my bad. That's my bad.
Frankie.
That's my
No,
bad.
Frankie.
Frank, sorry about that.
Not they're not that quite that unserious, but they're tongue in cheek. They know what they're doing.
All right.
I enjoyed the first Meg. I haven't seen the next one. I don't know if I would say it clears Jaws because I'm older, but I understand. I get it.
How'd the Parlay boys do? Plus Juliana Pena.
Yeah, how
I
we
don't know,
do,
man.
Rick.
Rick's got some explaining to do.
What
Yeah.
happened?
2 straight weeks we lose the parlay pals because of them, and then we got the Amanda Serrano, Heather Hardy under 8.5. I mean, it's been a rough stretch here for Rick.
Yeah.
We lost it before we even got into the UFC card. We lost it on Friday night, and then me, Juliana, and Frank just kick your feet up, easy dubs.
Mea culpa. I should have known better, honestly.
A lot of mea culpas this segment.
Yeah. Yeah, you really know how to rub it in. It's
So Pena won.
It's nice to feel supported.
Of course, yeah, Pena easy. McKinney Breeden under 1.5. I mean, that was a no brainer. Luque Dos Anjos over 1.5 went to decision, and then Roundtree Dacus under 2.5. That went in the first round. I mean, it was smooth sailing, easy stuff. I was like, man, we did great. I forgot.
Yeah.
Already lost before we even got going.
It's nice. It's
So what's the
nice to
deal
have
now?
friends.
So
that,
is it now Frank?
support you.
Is it me, Frank, and Juliana? Is that the deal? Are you stepping back in for Rick now?
No.
I
I
would
told you I retired.
I would love that.
No.
The real question is, does Juliana even want to be a part of it
Right.
after we handed her an L? Even though she did her job, she carried her
Yeah,
weight.
she did her part.
I will say this. I did get a somewhat stern text from Juliana
Oh,
What'd she say?
to stop doubting her. That it's really her watching.
Yeah.
That she's a fan of the show and she's tired of it.
I am
I've
too,
believed
to
it the
be
whole
honest with
time.
you.
All right.
I didn't, but I'm coming around.
I never doubted her.
Okay. So by the way, I would love to live in a world where the Parlay boys are now GC, Frank, and Juliana Pena.
I love it.
I mean, we'd be giving out winners. We'd be giving out winners.
We
if
said
that
we
was
were
the
going to
case.
get rid of the elimination if Ariel wasn't coming back.
Oh,
Yeah, but that was pre-Juliana.
No, she
stepping
changed
in.
everything.
she changed
God
everything.
bless.
Oh, it's a whole new. I retired.
Yeah,
remember?
I guess we keep Rick on board one more week. If it costs us again, then
No, I'm out. Unless Juliana doesn't step in. If Juliana's not in, then I'll be in.
of course, yeah.
But let's hear from Queen Juliana first, and then we'll see.
We'll get a tweet.
All right. Yeah.
What about the rest of the weekend?
Yeah, I mean, Nice little weekend here. I do have to say
You're on a bit of a roll
here. We're on a bit.
I
of a
like
run
that
here in the
you shoved it in people's faces as well.
Oh, I mean, and they let me know when I'm losing, so we got to give it back to him. Yeah, we
that
do
doesn't
good on
feel
this.
good.
We got we do good on the singles. Only loss was Boudet by decision. He gets the first round finish, but other than that, I mean, 6-1. Had one parlay on the weekend, hit that as well, and that gets us to 5 of the last 6 weeks, giving us profit. We are now in the single digits negative units, first time since March. So it's nice to try and continue this climb.
Congrats.
You know, remember we got here and then we had the worst week of all time on the Kaikara France Amir Albazi card. So knock on wood, 292 doesn't shoot us right back down the ladder. Hopefully we continue the climb and we can get to profit before the year is out. And got to give a shout out to a few big hitters before we get out of here.
Dun, 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 dun. By the way, since we spoke about Elon and Zuck, is there an update?
Yeah, there actually is an update.
He tweeted, "Knock knock challenge accepted. Open the door. Thought you might want some tea, so I brought the bags."
I think he's saying that he's going to go to Zuckerberg's house to try and get this thing done.
Oh, jeez. Also, I never knew that Zuckerberg was at FINKD. What is that?
I don't know.
Finked?
Finked?
Bizarre. All right.
All right, we start. Full card parlay. All 13 fights, all 13 correct. Mike Wright plus 87,692. Got every single fight right on the card. He said he's been doing this for a while. He said it's a long time coming that he finally got it. And he said with his win, he is going to get new gear for his high school wrestling team that he coaches. He even has a YouTube channel for it. The name is The Right Things. So shout out to Mike Wright. Shout out to his high school wrestling team. And shout out to all of them for getting new gear for him hitting a 13-leg parlay. Pretty incredible stuff. Next up, Travcon Solentin. However that's pronounced. Thomas Venson. I mean, you just talk about a big night. 4 parlays, turns $3,800. He wagered $3,800, turns it into $36,000 on a clean sweep of the night. He had some Bellator in there. He had some UFC in there. But he got every fight that he called correct. And that's not a bad weekend. $36,000, 10xing your money. That's the way to do it. We continue. 4-ounce fight picks. He did something similar to Mike Wright, but he did not go full straight 13 picks. He goes 12 picks, took a couple over-unders, took a couple spreads, but still hit a plus 9,758, turns $5 Canadian into 492. Just a couple more here. Just had to give a shout-out to our man Marky Nude, Marcus Allen, plus 10,653, $19 to win 2,000. But the thing that I have to say here that I just am in awe of, 20 legs, 20-leg parlay. He's got a little bit of Australian football. I see some Bellator, the South Sydney Rabitos or Rabbits, something in there, Brisbane Lions, Newcastle Knights. We've got a Terrance McKinney money line. I mean, just the most all-over-the-place parlay, 20 legs. The most degenerate stuff there can be, plus 10,000 and he cashes out.
I thought you guys don't like the term degenerate.
I mean, if you're putting in a 20-leg Australian football, Bellator, UFC parlay, you earn the honor of being called a degenerate there. That's fantastic stuff from him. McPicks, plus 2,300, clean, easy 3 legs. Damon Blackshear by submission, Josh Friend by points, and AJ Dobson to Fawn to go the distance. $50 into $1,200, not bad. And unfortunately, don't do it often. Have to give it a shout out to our man Mystic Mac. Bad beat of the week here. I believe these are 2 separate parlays, both with Hakeem Dawodu in them. He staked $3 And if Hakeem Dawodu had gotten that decision over Cub Swanson, he would have returned $4,802.67. Instead, he returned $0. Very unfortunate. Know that one hurt. But hopefully next time he gets the nod there. Unfortunate for our guy, Mystic Man.
How are you feeling heading into 292? Do you feel like you're on a streak here? Do you feel like confidence is high? Mojo?
Confidence is better. Mojo is better for sure.
Yeah?
Yeah, I feel decent.
You have any picks already?
Oh, yeah. Definitely. Fight doesn't go to a decision in the main event. Playing under 3.5 in the co-main. Probably going to be on our boy Weidman just for the hell of it.
Big dog.
Big dog. I mean, that's one of the main reasons. Maybe a little Marina Moreau's dog play. I mean, I'm just giving them all out right now.
Yeah.
Probably parlay up Ian Gary, but yeah, I'll have a decent amount of action for 292.
Looking forward to it. Watch party as well.
Watch party as well. Some lobster rolls. Some Boston baked beans.
And then the big one, of course, this time next week, it's the GC and Rick show, or the Rick. I wasn't sure which way to go there. Is it GC and Rick? Is it Rick and GC? I mean,
we're still
you're workshopping that.
details,
So what are we doing? Like, are there any plans? I mean, this is one of the most anticipated shows. Can I
We're not
suggest?
giving anything away. But
show up, turn the lights on, and just
I feel like this should be a once a year thing.
special edition once a year.
you just get to take a show off once a year.
I mean,
like it.
I feel like I'm allowed here and there, right?
I like it. I'm in.
I can't wait. I can't wait to tune into
It's
that
like
show.
jumping in the pool once a year. Let's do it.
Now, the thing that I've been debating is, do I pop in, or do I let the inmates run the asylum? Is it like full on Helwani-less show?
I feel like a little guest appearance would be good.
I don't know. I don't know if the people want that. Quite frankly, I don't know if you guys want that.
You could call in. I just
I
don't know
like
if we'll
a call
actually
in.
go to you.
Yeah. No, not that, Frank. Yeah, I like a little call in
Yeah.
tradition. You know.
Okay. No, I didn't know. I didn't know what you guys were thinking.
But again, look,
GC's
who knows? We're still working it out. You
he's
know.
very quiet right now. He's not weighing in on me calling in or not, so I'm not
Listen,
sure.
man, if you call in, you call in. If not, enjoy your vacation.
Any guest book?
Rick is the guest booker.
Oh wow.
We're not revealing this
Okay.
ahead of time.
Yeah.
Come on.
I just want to say I wouldn't hate it if it's no guest. I'm just saying. Just let it.
Listen, man.
No.
We'll worry about the show. You
Okay.
worry about your vacation.
Well,
okay?
me, it's
I'm stressing out about this show more than that.
Could you just could you adjust the slitter there for me? You're already messing up
yeah.
our
I was like,
studio
what is he
space.
talking about?
Go ahead and
Also,
Make you
are we
think,
both in studio? Is it one here, one there, both there?
No, one here, one there. Get out of here.
What?
the production team's still working on that.
I don't hate that idea.
No, one here, one there. No, we're gonna be in the studio. Come on.
Oh wow, this is gonna be who
How
gets
do we
the-
set up the chairs? Do
who-
we
yeah.
do the desk?
Oh
Do we
wow,
just
you
keep the,
no,
do we
you
just
can't.
keep the watch party.
This is not a
on?
watch party. We got to go traditional look.
Yeah. The desk will be in there.
Now you're making calls. Now you're the,
Nah, I know, I
you're
don't
the
like
set
this, all right?
designer.
I'm the
here?
EP.
I mean, come on.
I'm the EP. I mean, it's
When's
still
your flight, man?
There's no EP credit for you.
Wow. Speaking
Oh, do
of
you
which,
think- do you
did we
think
update the credits?
You think we'll get the credits changed for that?
But listen, if we get to that point where we're booking the guests and we reach out to you, we'd appreciate you coming on. But that's what it is.
Just stand by.
Stand by. See
if you get the invite on Sunday.
Hmm.
Honestly, we have to see what happens Saturday night because that's gonna
See, that was actually a
play lot
trick
into our
question
plan.
on my part. Never, especially for a post pay-per-view Monday, never book the guests this far out.
Of course, that's what I'm saying.
But that's why pay-per-views are actually the most stressful, because those ones you actually have to wait because there's so many, different things that can happen, different players, blah, blah, blah. That's all about the Sunday.
This,
You know
I
what I
don't know
mean?
if I should say this.
Yes, tell me.
You say stressful. There's no stress over here for this one.
Yeah. Oh, really?
No.
Good. I'm happy.
No. But that's
I don't
because
think-
Rick's the guest.
I
It'll
wish
be
I
great.
could live in a world where someone booked this show. That would be my dream.
No, you don't.
No, 100%.
No, you
1
say you
million
do, but
percent.
You do not.
Oh, my Sunday. I haven't had a proper Sunday in years.
Yeah, because what happens when they book the show and then you get the complaints about the lineup?
I'll say, go talk to that guy.
Nah.
We'll
Not
get you a
hap-
proper Sunday or
this-
a rum
this-
raisin Sunday.
This is one of those, I wish it was, and then if it happened in actuality,
No,
you'd be
100%.
pulling your
I
hair
would be
out.
so happy. I would be over the
No
moon.
chance.
In fact,
Yeah,
I would
then
love.
We would get the
The only problem would be is like, hey, I booked so and so on the show. I'm like, what? That's a shit guess.
Yeah,
yes.
That would
be
be
the fan, and then
I
they'd
would
be
be
saying the same thing,
oh,
and then
okay.
you'd be upset. No,
How long would it last?
not even two. Not even two. It'd be done. It'd be done.
You know,
it would
it's not
it would
really
get into one,
sure.
and then not even the second.
All right, yeah, you're probably right. I think that's it. I think we covered everything, right, guys?
Yeah, we did the Musk update. I mean,
We got second half Wolves and Man United coming up.
Oh, we got a halftime score.
I think 0-0.
Wow.
By the way, I've been playing basketball a lot with my boys. All of a sudden, they got into basketball. It's amazing. Didn't see this coming at all. But this is the best part. They say things like 2-0.
In basketball.
They're saying like then my brother's like, oh, my brother, my son is saying about his, it's like, who's marking so and so? They're using soccer terminology when talking about basketball. They're like full on Europeans. It's wonderful.
I love it.
Shout out to the Canadian basketball team as well. Nice little showing over there in Germany.
I mean, if we're gonna shout out the basketball, I feel like the Knicks are the shout. RJ and Jalen, like they're killing it this World Cup.
It hasn't started yet. These are all like
the exhibitions, but
RJ,
they're showing out.
Put the team on his back.
Yeah, Brunson, I mean,
Brunson, come on, Brunson's like legit top 10 player,
huh?
In the league right now, top 10. If I'm able to pick from the entire roster of players out there, like the pool of players out there, he's top 10.
Oh boy,
yeah.
Good thing you're not a GM.
1,000. Who'd you rather have on your team, him or Jaylen Brown?
I'd rather have him, but Jaylen Brown is not top 10 either.
I'm just saying, certainly paid a lot.
10. I mean,
he's top 10 right now, leading that Knicks team to the second round, leading the Mavericks to the conference finals the year before.
I mean, I could name 10 like real quick.
Go.
Wow. We're doing
Giannis, Luka, Tatum, Embiid, Jokic, Steph Curry, Anthony Davis, Ron James.
I'd rather Jalen Brunson than Anthony Davis.
I mean, as I said, good thing you're not a GM.
I'd rather Jalen Brunson than LeBron.
Yeah.
I mean, who went further in the playoffs? That's all that matters.
That's all that matters, right? The Lakers went much further in the playoffs.
AP top 25 in college football just dropped. You want
Lakers went to the conference finals, by the way.
Number 25, Iowa.
Wow.
24, Tulane.
The Hawkeyes, shout out. All right, gents, thank you very much. Much love. It has been a fun day on the program. Thank you very much to Frank and the team in the back. But it is time to go, and we'll be back on Wednesday. Yeah, there it is. For another edition. Can't believe Jalen Brunson's easy top. Might even be top 5 at this point. I'm being honest. So good. Almost as good as Tewo Awonyi. It's a tough name. What a goal. What a goal, GC, huh? Wasn't that nuts? What do you know about Anthony Elanga? Huh?
Yeah, I was going crazy.
Oh, it was incredible. What a run. I mean, the ball was fantastic. It was fantastic. Shout out to Matt Turner, by the way. New Jersey's finest. Nice debut. Anyway, big week coming up. We got a lot more to discuss. We'll be back on Wednesday. Do believe I don't want to say the names yet because, well, a lot can happen between now and then I feel like there's some pressure involved, and I don't want to deal with all of that. So back on Wednesday, then, like we said, the Monday after 292 will feature the boys in the back. Always great to have the UFC back for a big show in Boston. They always bring big shows to Boston. UFC 118 was fantastic. BJ Penn was on there. Of course, James Toney, who we just discussed, was on there. Who else was on there? Gray Maynard, Kenny Florian, I believe, was on there as well. And then there's been some massive ones. Dominic Cruz, TJ Dillashaw, the Conor fight, first show on FS1. So should be a big one. Thanks to everyone who joined us today. Thank you to Eddie Hearn, Ian, Machado Garry, Terrance McKinney, Aljamain Sterling as well. Back on Wednesday, same time, place Thursday.